Welcome to Tabletop Dynasties' first foray into the world of Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu is the flagship game of RPG industry veterans Chaosium, and is driven by the BRP, or Basic Role-Playing System. The BRP is a skill-based system which uses percentile die to quickly resolve anything from simple knowledge checks to fast-paced conflicts in a dynamic and user-friendly fashion. In Call of Cthulhu, you take the role of often ordinary people whose lives are forever changed by exposure to events or entities that threaten to undermine their sanity and consume the world. These characters are called investigators. In tonight's game, we use the resources provided in Chaosium's companion book for Call of Cthulhu, Terror Australis, to explore Sydney in the 1920s. Our story follows the path of Inspector Albert Worthington of the Hong Kong Special Branch, who has been sent to Sydney with the task of tracking down the secretive organization known as the Black Dragon Society. So join us now as we embark on the first episode of Behind the Crimson Veil. And we're going to go around the circle and introduce all our characters, starting with Paul.
Constable Tom O'Leary. OG's O'Leary. He's large. He's plain. He was born in Australia. He's a local cop in the Sydney area.
I'll say that you're based in Darlinghurst, or are you based at the docks down at Circular Quay?
Docks.
All right, nice.
I'm Ed. Good old Ed. The voice will come. It's an evolving. It changes.
You're young.
Yes, I'm still breaking it in. So I'm Ed. I'm a little scrawny chap. Bit British sometimes. I don't know much about where I came from. Just always been in Sydney. Got kind of messy blondish hair. But yeah, I don't really have a job. My job is keeping a lookout for some of the more dodgy business going along.
Awesome. All right, cool. And
I'm Inspector Albert. I've got my last name.
Worthington.
Inspector Albert Worthington. I didn't forget. It's not the opium, I swear.
Tell me about it later.
I'm a British agent, inspector from Hong Kong. So I've just come back to Australia to hunt down a case that's ongoing with Tom here. And, get around a bit. Wife doesn't like me too much these days, hence why I spend most of my time down under.
you have a house in the suburbs, I take it? Or
Oh, no,
she
no.
lives in Hong Kong.
I've got a nice little flat in the rocks.
Oh, yes, yes. But where do you keep your wife?
Hong Kong.
Nice. All right, excellent. And Naira?
I'm a former intelligence officer from Britain.
Mm-hmm.
I was relocated to Australia after I uncovered my boss doing some shady stuff, and they didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, having been
What was your boss's name?
That's classified.
Not to me.
Robert.
Uh-huh.
And becoming disillusioned with authority, she's put her skill set to use, just profiteering by herself in this lawless land.
It's true.
Hey.
Definitely not dealing in opium, eh?
Yes, I'm
Really
Colonel Augustus Shropton, MD, a war doctor, veteran of the Boer and the Great Wars. I'm 50 years old, mustachioed, a silver fox. But essentially, I am an alcoholic, syphilitic, opium-addicted, pompous, shifty, philandering grifter.
Oh,
Only my closest friends know that, particularly Waddles. I was basically run out of the military under some personal disgrace to do with the syphilis and the field hospital and some nurses. And as a result, I fled basically since the war. I've spent the last 6 or 7 years roaming around the colonies, avoiding the social scene back home and trying to find a place for myself. And what I've found is nestled in quite a comfortable situation in Sydney, living in Kirribilli with my beloved Betty.
But you do spend some time in the city area.
Oh yes, I'm an outrageous opium addict. I get my drugs down in the rocks.
Well, it's not so much the rocks. They try and keep the... Yes, you might get them there, but the best opium dens are over in Haymarket. Just
well, naturally, but I would
down
never go
Hay
down
Street.
there. I send the boy down.
No, yeah, the boy will run down to Dixon Street to fetch what you need.
Yeah.
Very well, very well. And Elizabeth.
Oh, call me Betty Lyle. I'm a generously full-figured lady in a sort of the better side of 50, surely. And very spiritual. I am a conduit for discarnate humans. I hold regular seances, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sunday afternoons, and for a select few people. So Shroppy and I are having a lovely time in Kirribilli together now, and enjoying spending Daddy's leftover money.
Good. A good time. Good times had by all.
And her work is very
your wife.
Very.
So it's early in the morning. A dark cloud has hauled itself across the quay. The regular ferries are pulling in and out, some of them directing larger cargo ships up to the northern end of the piers where the various docks and dockmen are unloading. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and you are rousing yourself from an uneasy slumber as the sea over through the quay has been quite choppy, not quite protected by the inlet as much as it should have. Nothing much more, but drier etches coming up at this point. The several months or the month-long voyage is the steamship is seeing you well as you come onto the soot-smattered docks of the quay. The sound of the engine and a huge puff of white steam erupts from one of the trains that takes off. A large amount of cargo and passengers just being hauled along in its 10 carriages. It chugs off past the Victorian buildings that dot the foreshore around the quay. You have grim news and memories of a curt briefing from your superior. Colonel Reginald Lacey dressed you down quite considerably. Said, "Men, you're still on our pay list, and while on your pay list, you really need to get things in order. We've had some people who have been running rife around here. You know, many years ago, ever since we've had that small trouble with Robert Kensington and his mob, we had to dispatch them to the various parts of the other colonies just to cover it all up. You know, all these bogus missions we'd send them on just to get them out of our hair. Anyway, it's getting a bit much for us to handle now. We've had some people who have been pushing the opium a bit harder than they should be.
Really?
Yes, pushing back from China.
That's terrible. I was assured that the supply was dwindling in Sydney.
Yes. Well, it's true, and the reports that you've brought back from your good friend Constable O'Leary certainly say that there is not a skerrick of opium to be found in Sydney. But that's very strange, particularly for our records, because we're getting shipments that are being delivered out from China through Hong Kong through an agency called the Black Dragon Society.
Oh, well, lo and be to suggest that Tom's not doing his work, but I'll have a chat with the old boy when I get back there.
Look, it's on you, boy. We can't be made to look a fool of up here.
It's the colonies, what can you expect? I mean, come on, they're full of criminals anyway.
Well,
I'll just get under this bus then.
Look, calm your horses and batten your britches down. I can't blame this all entirely on you and O'Leary. This Black Dragon Society's made a fool of all of our colonies. They're like smuggling the opium through every nook and cranny, and we've only just heard about them through... Well, there was an incident, see? Mr. Throppington of Whitehall was on a trip to the mainland, going through Nanjing just earlier this year. And, you see, he had a daughter with him, a lovely young thing in her prime, a blossom, a regular blossom. Yes, everyone could smell her glorious scent from around the block. I reminisce about having her to tea in my offices every day. Such a glorious blossom she was. Anyway.
Like a poppy.
This man from Whitehall. yes, like a poppy. Yes. She, went missing. And, we had some of our Secret Service on the trail. And we found them dead. All, well, nasty business, but cut up real bad, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, this sounds like a job for a younger man's
They
game.
found a brand laid on all of these agents of the Black Dragon. We didn't know what it was, but some of our investigators, they asked around and found out that, well, the townspeople, they didn't want to talk about it. And the roots, they run deep. Some kind of resistance group. And we think that resistance group is getting its money by all this smuggling of opium to the colonies. So we need you to find out what's going on in Australia.
Well, I guess I'd, follow the opium, as they say.
Yes, follow the opium, sniff it out, and we believe you might be able to find the Black Dragons and trace them back to the source and get your hands on this beautiful blossom.
All right, well, I'll hunt down those Black Dragons, and trust me, I'll get as much opium off the street as I can. And hopefully we'll be able to get your little blossom back safe and sound.
Excellent, Albert. I'm counting on you. And send my regards to old Augustus.
Augie,
Yeah.
he's doing just fine.
I know we don't like to see him around Whitehall or Piccadilly anytime soon, but, we did have some really good times back in the day.
Well, let's just say the nurses are better for having him in Australia.
yes. Let's not talk about that.
I'm sorry, Betty, I just got a tingle.
The spirit's done! Let me get my pens ready!
You say, peering out from your Kirribilli first floor window of your three-story bungalow out in the bush. You stare across the wilds of the Australian bush and you watch the storm front roll in. Must be coming in from the K right now. You think, wonder when Albert will be back.
Oh, dear God, I need to pick him up.
Oh, darling, we should call for the car at once.
Boat will be pulling in any time now.
Which vehicle do you take? Elizabeth?
Sure. Whichever one you choose, darling. I mean, they all could do it with a run now and then.
Well, okay, let's get the driver, pull it out, and
Inspector.
So old Totswaddle comes out.
There's only room enough for one waddle in this game.
And says, "Oh, hello. Will you be driving yourself today, Colonel? Or did you,
I think not. I'm intending to drink. I'm going to the quay to pick up Waddles, so...
Oh, very
who
good.
knows if
Shall
you
I
wanna-
pack the Napoleon?
Yes.
Righto. I'll get right to it. I'll warm up the engine." Goes out to the sound of... And steam rises off the engine. It's a reasonably cold morning. The sun hasn't fully come up. It's getting to the end of winter, and while it is still quite warm during the days when the sun comes up, as soon as the sun goes down, a chill sets in, and you still get the frost in the morning sometimes, as is the weather here.
I'll smoke a cigarette in the car waiting for it to warm up before I head off.
Naira, you're,
It's 5 a.m., right?
it's 5 a.m.
I'm asleep.
Excellent. Passed out in some flop house.
Sure.
And you're like roused by the sound of the steam horn from the cruise ship that's just docked in the K. You stay
I
in
put my
a
pillow over my ears.
bat a rat off your low rent apartment pillow and sort of turn over The clatter of bottles falls off the side of the bed as you sort of nestle in for a night's slumber for the rest of the morning. Where do you keep yourself? Where do you stay? Ed?
Me?
Mm.
Sorry.
Biz.
There's a small group of us boys that just kind of hang around in this particular alleyway. If you there's kind of like a crawl space under a house.
Yep, so you're pretty excited right now because big ship's just come in, and you've all gone down to the rocks to sort of kick around and see if anyone's leaving some loose luggage hereabouts there and there. And you're just sort of watching, got your eye on a particularly rich dame who's just sounds like she's got a bit of an accent. Coming from somewhere in Europe. She just holy boldly schooly boodly. According to you. Talking as an accent. And your friend is,
Can't! Let's get her purse while she's not looking.
Yeah. Nah, you're shit at this. Just fuck off.
Fucking shut up, Ed. I'm better than anyone.
Nah, look at this. I'm gonna try to pickpocket this lady.
oh, cool.
Yo, check this out.
God damn.
4?
0-4.
Critical success.
Yeah.
All right, so you kick, you kick your friend. He's like, oh, fuck! And everyone sort of looks at him, and while they're all distracted, going, oh, I hate this one. You sort of sneak around behind, and sort of wheelie ways. Oh, excuse me, don't mind me, sir. And you find yourself. She just puts her purse down on top of her suitcase. Can you reel in? And Constable Tom O'Leary. You're obviously cruising the docks, doing your usual patrol. This is, are you a beat cop or a detective?
Well, O'Leary's totally a beat cop. Puts the beat
Yeah,
in
they
beat
don't
cop.
really want to put the Irish up in the game.
No, but, somebody's got to haul these drunk sailors back down to the docks after their night in the tank.
Yep,
And I got one over each shoulder.
Excellent. And
Walking
as
on
you
down.
do,
Morning,
you,
Ed!
You see spot Ed reaching for a wealthy woman's purse.
Morning, O'Leary.
How are you getting on with those sums?
Yeah, nah, good, O'Leary. Don't worry, I'm being good. The big ship, hey.
And you turn around and almost completely bump into, as you try and make haste from the situation, good old Albert Worthington.
That's a lot of him to bump into.
As you look down and you see clutching in two very dirty hands with a large flat cap sort of like thrust one side over the eyes sort of look up, a bit of dark smear, holding a very expensive looking purse like half under a vest. You see Ed.
Augustus already has like slight sweat even in the cool morning. He's already got like the hanky.
You're Albert.
Albert, sorry. It was a hard night.
Augustus also has a slight sweat.
It's a hard night.
One day.
Oh, good morning, Ed. What do we have here?
Nothing, sir. Just doing my normal rounds, checking out the big ship.
Oh, if there's nothing in those hands, then I'm guessing there'll be a little extra the next time there's a delivery.
Yes, yeah, no, don't worry.
Oh, excellent. You,
Oh! My purse has gone missing!
Oh, madam, what seems to be the problem? Just like, Inspector Albert, how can I help you, madam? There was no purse?
I seem to be missing my purse. It is gone. I just put it down here. And there's people, like, everywhere. There's people still coming off the ships. I do not know where it is. It was lovely and green. It has, like, diamantes, like, all around the outside. And a gold clasp with a hummingbird on it.
Oh, well,
She's, like, looking around earnestly.
Larry, this seems like something like your piece of work.
Yep. Let me just get rid of these sailors.
So you dump the sailors in the back of a drunk wagon that you're...
Oh, this is the morning after. They've been in the drunk wagon. We're just basically...
Oh, put them anywhere.
releasing them back into the
You dump them on a pile of flour
Traditionally
sacks.
in the water, but
And they like grumble and sort of like, oh, look scared. Look behind you. At
Okay, right, madam. It was.
The green
Yep.
purse
Yep.
was gone missing. I thought there were some children. I went to help one of the children who seemed to be in pain, but
We do have a lot of vulnerable youths around the area, madam. We've taken your report, and you can come down to the station to track on the progress of this at any time. We've got our
Thank you so
best
much.
man on the case.
Excellent. Okay, and so it goes on as you take the report, and she gives you the location where she's going to be staying in the hotel in the city, and you have all of that in order. So, meanwhile, Albert, you make your way to.
Well, I guess I'll meet you at the
Yeah.
At the docks.
Up to my little
What
car.
else?
Come by and pick up. I've got my little carpet bag and leather
How
case.
was the trip,
Yep.
Ed? What are you doing here?
Oh, nothing, sir. Just having a little look-see. Yep. Just doing my normal look-sees, you know.
And your friend comes up and goes,
fuck Ed, I did my bit. Give me my share.
Shut up, all right. We'll do it later. Come on.
Yeah,
You're
you
such a
fucking
little
never do it.
shite.
to be rubbing an obvious bruise on his side where he was kicked quite hard.
Ed, I'll be back in town for a while. Can you tell Nira to start up the deliveries?
Yes. Yeah. I'll. You know what? I might have a look for her right now.
Just before you leave, I'll buy the purse.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me explain it to you, boy. That old woman, I think she's Swedish. Rather fulsome figure. Exactly my type. Now, if I can return the purse to her, I may be able to gain some favour. The chance of which, though small, is worth to you exactly 3 shilling 50.
Give me an evaluate roll, or
Praise. I
Get out of this thing.
can appraise. Nope,
Not.
not at the moment.
oh yeah, that sounds fair. Mind you, you haven't opened the purse yet.
Cash in the hand.
Worth two in the bush.
I'm not that smart. All right, sir. You and then I just like,
Now, don't you have work to do?
yeah.
And
And I
And then I look in the purse.
It's full of Swedish banknotes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe.
Madam!
All right, so just give me a persuasion roll.
Persuasion? Fast talk? Is that a thing?
Puts the
Persuade.
person.
Persuade.
It is actually
Under the P.
09, which is just not a critical success of my 40 persuasion.
Oh, my purse!
Actually, I'll make that lucky. I'll spend a luck point.
Okay.
one of your 12.
Bump it by 1. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
no, I got it.
Oh,
My
yeah.
purse! Oh, thank you so much.
I would hate to think that your introduction to our wonderful country
All of my
was
money is
marred
here.
by-
Where did you find it?
It must have been knocked astray in the kerfuffle. I found it merely on the ground, slightly over there.
Oh, thank you, good sir. Oh, how can I possibly repay you? And she sort of, I only have Swedish money.
That's okay. I've never seen Swedish money. Is that what it is?
Yes, look, you can see the different notes. I have a promissory note as well.
Look, I would accept no reward, but out of curiosity, I'm curious for my numisticist collection to perhaps a sample of Swedish banknotes, merely for the exotic.
Well, of course, here, it's a low denomination, but it will be worth something for your collection, surely.
Absolutely. Is this the only type? I like the printing. Who is this on the...
She explains in detail and you guys get caught into a lovely conversation, and
Only
she
having one of the collection,
lets
we
you
want
know where she is staying, and it confesses to you that she is looking forward to some R&R, some time away from the hustle and bustle of the city, and she has some interest in exploring the Australian countryside. She hears it's beautiful. She's in love with the romantic paintings of the early colonial period.
I make note of her hotel.
Regardless of which, Albert, what do you do?
I get one of the kids and give them some money and get them to put the bags in the boot of the car because we buggered them out lifting them. And then I'll, open the first drink of the day and wait for Augie to get back to the car so we can go and visit my wife's friend Betty.
All right, of course. Very well.
I'm sure Winifred sent note.
So you eventually conclude your business.
Playing the long game.
Make your way back to the car at the same time that you have gone to
Get nearer.
So you managed to go and collect your package from your contact. So who is your contact?
My contact is she's in charge of what am I trying to say? Prostitutes.
A Bordeaux.
A Bordeaux.
Okay, so she has a brothel in the rocks.
yeah.
Oh.
So she kind of runs the brothel.
Madam
Okay.
Slashtastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
and
are you
her
getting-
name is sorry.
And what are you getting from her?
Opioids.
Okay, so she sells, but she doesn't provide. Now she provides just to you. She's a dealer. She doesn't import though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're picking up some opium for Augustus. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, that's correct.
It's my job. Get off the streets.
I finally get into my face.
Two-man operation. One with a shovel and one with a nose.
Yeah, but she also she does booze as well.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're definitely in an era of mild prohibition where they're controlling. Actually, yeah, I mean mild. It's very situational, mostly overlooked by the cops. They let people get away with a lot. They want it to. They have more things to worry about than people selling a bit of slag grog on the side at the usual shops. But yeah, you work your way through the labyrinthine network of sandstone streets and buildings in the rocks, and you find the brothel tucked in down a back street. You sort of get to the front. There's a rotund Chinese man standing out front, looks at you with a sly gaze over the top of his pipe, and goes, "Oh." Just gives you the nod to go inside. As you roll through, you go down through the alleys, and so you go down through this winding corridor inside of the building. It's all just tight packed in here. There's like a short corridor that runs along. 2 sets of stairs go off it, but at the end of the corridor there is a little counter where an elderly woman who you recognize just sits. She's an Australian woman and looks over the counter. Back, Ed?
Yep. Back.
Already?
Yeah.
You want to run for your rich friends?
Yeah.
Oh, I need a little package.
Yeah, they just came in. Just need a little package. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just to
you
tie
got the
them
bob?
over. Yeah. I got the bob. And I hand her over the cash that I have.
Yeah, awesome. So she takes the money and pulls out a little pouch. And at this point, you hear a commotion going on at the front door. You're still asleep. Give me a perception roll. What is it? Spot hidden? No.
Not listen.
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 Give me a listen roll, Naira. No, not you. Just Naira. So difficult. So half. That's the second number. You're rolling equal to because you got the pillow shoved over your head.
81. I fail.
No.
Oh,
You
baby.
succeed at sleeping.
Yeah. You hear nothing. But behind you, there's a kerfuffle, and you see the body of the man who's guarding the door. He's wearing a smart sort of collarless suit, and you see him just fly across the front of the door frame, and then in through the door frame comes a larger man, also Chinese, wearing a very well cut suit. He's holding just a club in his hand, which he's you see him just tucking it up his sleeve, and he starts just storming down the corridor. And the woman, Eliza, who runs the place, goes, Hey, you can't just come busting in here. He sort of comes in and gives her, just looks her deep in the eyes. And she just, oh, and this is a woman who doesn't take shit from no one. She runs her own place, and she just sits down and sinks into the chair. He doesn't even pay attention to you, and then he starts talking in Chinese. You don't understand. And she just lifts a finger and points up one of the stairs. Just give me a knowledge roll. Oh, sorry, a intelligence.
Intelligence, just raw intelligence.
Yeah, it's raw intelligence.
19. So that would be a half. Yeah, it's not critical.
Kids
No, that's
going
cool.
places.
You're like, oh, that's she's pointing up in the direction of. Do you know Naira?
Yeah. No, I know her quite well.
Of where
very
Naira
well.
stays.
Yeah.
And then he turns and starts going up the stairs towards Naira's room.
Do I know any way? Is there any way that I could slip past him quite stealthily into Naira's room?
You'd have to go out and around the building and climb up through the window.
I
You know
can-
that Naira always keeps their door locked.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yeah, cool. Give me a climb roll.
1.
Orphan powers.
You're concentrating all of your living into the first 15
I
years
know.
of life because you're not going to last much longer.
So you actually know that there's a dumbwaiter behind the desk. So you like jump over the desk and jump in the dumbwaiter, and so like pull a little cable in the dumbwaiter and hoist yourself up, and then slide it open from the inside, and you're in Naira's room.
Oh, Naira! Someone's coming for you. They're big. They're scary. There's some Chinese dude.
What?
Look, Naira, quick! We gotta go.
Naira's not going to fit in this dumbwaiter.
Damn it!
But there is a window. Like the room smells like stale cigarettes and dank booze.
At this point, I like grab like the pillow and I start like hitting her on the head with it.
What are
You
you
touched
doing?
a brothel pillow?
Look,
There's that
It
syphilis
has
outbreak.
touched so
Naira,
much
gotta
worse.
go. Someone's. He took out old Jerry.
bang, bang, bang. You hear a knock on the door.
Something snaps within me, and I suddenly become awake, and I'm like, "What was that?"
I told you, some big Chinese bloke.
Okay, we gotta go. And I kind of like
And you
grab
hear
Ed.
He's
in a
got human
voice,
back on.
in a voice, and that is strangely familiar, and it's speaking in Chinese. Open the door.
and I kind of like funnel, like push Ed into like the dumbwaiter and kind of like cram myself in.
You won't fit.
Okay,
You like try,
mind.
and you're still really hungover. You're like, oh shit.
Look at the window.
And you see that there's a window. It's a small window, but you can get out of it.
Yes, I open the window, I climb out and stand on the ledge, and then I close the window, and then I shuffle along the wall.
Okay, so as you sort of like you get out the window and you sort of like, and you hear a smash. Like you're in the dumbwaiter still.
Yeah, but can I not go down? Can I just close the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like shink, smash, and the door creaks off its hinges. The guy almost stumbles into the room. If it wasn't at the top of the stairs go straight up and straight to your door. It's not a very well constructed thing, but it smashes in. He sort of like his bulk sort of just like rolls in one shoulder, rolls in the other shoulder. Looking at him now in this small space, he's almost impossibly large. He sort of looks around, smells the air, sort of looks to the floor, and picks up a broken bottle that's just been on the floor. Sort of smells it. Just look of disgust crosses his face. You're looking through just like a split in the dumbwaiter door.
Yep.
He sort of like just walks over to the window and looks, and he's about to, you can see he's about to open the window, which is already open a bit.
Can I just make some? Can I make some noise? Can I bang
Yeah.
with my little fists?
Maybe a little. Shoot.
Yeah, it's less about like bang bang bang, more of a like little knock.
He stops, turns around. All right, so you're on the ledge.
Yes. Is there
give me
any way I can climb like up?
Onto the roofs. Yeah, give me a climbing roll.
43.
Under.
50.
Yeah, cool. All right, so you just reach over. These are all pretty tight together, these buildings. So you sort of just like reach over, and the sandstone is. You see that you're at the back of the police station, actually, which is a sandstone building. So you like sort of get up and you get on, reach over to a lion that's got a little baton in its mouth, and sort of grab onto it and start going across, and you eventually get onto the roof of the police station.
Okay.
You sort of look around, but you also give me a stealth roll.
20 under 60.
Yeah, alright, awesome. So
Actually, no. Oh no, it's not a good one.
So you sneakily get up onto the roof, you sort of cast a look behind you, and the light comes and shines through the window, and you catch a glimpse of this man's face. It's very square and very rugged. It's like Eastern Chinese sort of descent. It's got a couple of little, you see a very thin scar going down his face, and you see one of his eyes is white all across it, and you have distinct memory of this face. It's one you've seen before. It's one that you remember having to deal with on behalf of your boss, Robert, when he sent you to shut down an opium shipment that was being run by an unknown organization. An organization that you had multiple run-ins with. You didn't know the name of the organization, but you knew their reach was far. And you knew that by disappointing Roberts, and by your inability to stop them, it wasn't just you, but it was a bunch of other people, your punishment was to be sent here, to Australia, to the arse end of the earth, far away from civilization as you know it.
That's true.
But you had a notebook back then, and it was extensive, and it documented several members of this gang and their activities, and this was one of the key people, and you had a lot of information on him. You knew where he lived in Nanjing. You knew where he had bases in you knew the names of a few bases in some of the other colonies in South Africa and in Canada, and you knew who he was particularly, and his name was Xian Wu. Or at least that's the name that he went by when you knew him. Regardless of which, he's now approaching the dumbwaiter.
Down. Go down.
You hear a crash as these like ham-fisted hands, just like fingers breaking through the wood of the doorway, reach into the dumbwaiter, and so looks in. This head sort of looks into the darkness as you make a dexterity roll as you try and hold on as the fright of the situation grips you.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right,
29
awesome.
under 70.
Yeah, you hold on and keep going down. He goes to grab for the ropes and tries to pull you up. You see there's a door in front of you. It's not the ground floor door, but it is. Okay. You explode into the room. Like you just pull the door open and jump into the room. Like a couple who are just lying in the bed. Like there's a woman sort of draped over an opium pipe lying to the side. A man's like, oh, and he's like, you jump on top of him. Oh! There's the man's wallet seems to be lying over to one side.
Yes, take it.
Ferris Bueller the wallet.
Sorry for the inconvenience, and then I'll grab the wallet and I'll get out.
Bounce over the bed, run back to the wallet. Thank you.
All right, you slip out the door and into the street. And where are you going now?
Can I see Nira anywhere?
Nara, look around. Nara's trying to.
I would be like trying to like
Stay low,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So you get to the other side of the. You're just trying to get away from the situation, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you run to the other side of the police station roof, and you sort of look around. There's sort of some houses that are lower to your left and your right. Some other buildings, mostly just shops, 2 and 3 floors that you could climb down on and get through. But looking out over here, you sort of catch the sight of the harbor, and you're like, oh, that's what woke me up. And you see, boom, as the steam whistle from the steamship, the cruise ship that just came in today sort of goes off again. And you look down the harbor, and you're thinking, if this guy's here and he's looking for you, he's probably not going to stop anytime soon, so you want to kind of lose yourself somehow. There's a crowd of people leaving the ship, but you spy across the way, just before the train station, a car that you recognize. Describe your vehicle.
Oh, it's a Bentley. It's not my vehicle per se. Betty, would you like to describe it?
Well, I do find that.
It's one of those Bentley limousines.
Yeah,
Limited
yeah,
edition.
yeah.
They only ever made 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's quite a nice gold colour.
Subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you catch sight of the rotund and eccentrically dressed spiritual enthusiast.
Am I able to like run towards the car?
Yep. So you want to scamper down the buildings and get to the car?
Yes.
Give me another climbing roll.
10.
Okay, cool.
Wait,
You-
is that a 100 or a 10?
That's 1. Yeah, that's 10.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. All right. So there happens to be a convenient flagpole. You sort of jump over
Which
the
is
side,
a critical.
swing down on a rope, and sort of hit the ground at the same time that Ed just runs out of the alley.
Oh my god, you made it! And I try to like pick. What's your pronoun?
Him.
Him. I pick him up, and I'm like, go, 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 go.
All right, so you start barreling down the street, and some chickens just like get knocked over to the side as a vendor gets pushed over. But rushing out of the alley, probably about 20 meters behind you, as you sort of make your way through the commotion that is the steamship crew, like moving out into the quay, you catch sight over your shoulder of this large Chinese man, Xian Wu, just like looking around, casting his steely white eye
Hi.
over the
Do
crowd.
I see my
Drug dealer?
running through a crowd whilst...
Well, you are waiting pensively over by the quay, leaning against your Bentley, staring eagerly towards the direction of the rocks. And
Well,
you,
my head is meant to be coming, right?
you don't see your drug dealer, but do you know Naira?
Do I?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm there, and I know Naira.
Alright, so I would say that I keep a
like
degree of
my
separation. I would know Ed, but not Naira, never having dealt with Naira. But you would know Naira. and
No,
you-
Naira is my handled and trained informant.
So
He's
you
been
just
helping me find the open
stick-
key.
you stick Naira in the boot.
But I can't.
You stick Naira in the boot. I'll let you do whatever you want and ask questions later. That's just the way it goes.
At this point, you're catching sight of the commotion because you're just walking back into the station after having dealt with these people, and you see these two like just swing down the flagpole of the police station onto the street. The Australian flag, or it's a Brit flag that hangs over the top of the police station. It's like taken down to half mast in the process. And then you see Naira that's like Ed runs out of the alley, bumps into Naira, and Naira picks him up in her arm. She picks him up in her arms and starts piss bolting in the direction of the quay. And then, like, you're like, that's not right, and you go back to start fixing the flag. And then from out of the alley, this sort of sinister looking Oriental type sort of bursts out, dressed in a suit that's very smart. He looks like some of those gentlemen you've had dealings with over in Haymarket. They
Maybe.
sort of like bought their own properties and stuff
I have an
like
instinct that stuff's going a bit weird. I don't know, it's just the battle sense. 2 wars, I don't know.
that. You're probably just like jonesing a little, yeah.
And I'm like, actually, my dear, I'm going to try and hustle. Yeah, my dear, would you like to take the seat? I'll perhaps start the car now.
I look up from my magazine and take the chocolate out and put the wrapper down. Yes, darling, what's up?
I just, if you'd like to sit in the car, perhaps, and fasten up, just getting the car ready, pre-started.
Is
Oh, yeah.
the boot
Well, your driver is there, obviously.
The boot's open because I'm getting kids to
Yeah,
put my
getting
things in
kids.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oliver Totswaddle.
So I sidle into the back seat and I look
Oh,
at the magazine. And
Get
it's
ready to
watching.
go, ma'am. Shall I
think
warm her
so.
up?
Just wait for Shroppy and
I'll-
his friend, darling.
Certainly, I'll just give it a crank while I'm here. So gets out, pulls out the keys, starts winding up the engine.
Let's roll up the checks.
I'm gonna see if I can kind of hide behind the car and slip into the
You're
boot.
being
when I have a
held.
chance. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You're
Don't
being
worry.
Carried up the street by.
That's right.
However, you are trying to hide in the crowd, yes?
Once I caught sight of him looking for me, I would try and like blend in.
Okay, cool. So
That's Albert's
just give me a stealth
informant.
roll.
Making off with Ed.
39 under 60.
The game's afoot, darling.
All right. In spite of you hiding, it's like you sort of look up to just look back and see if he's still following you, and that sort of act actually catches his eye. and he sort of now starts moving in your direction.
Shit.
I'm gonna.
At reasonable speed. So you've seen this guy.
Yep.
He's come out and he's starting to move. He's sort of like looking around and then draws bead on Naira's location and starts moving in earnest in their
Right,
direction.
I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna hop on a streetcar going up.
No,
Street?
that's too far. You're at the rocks. You're outside the police station at the rocks.
Never mind then. I'm just gonna cruise on after this extremely dodgy dude because, although I don't approve, the results from this paid informant speak for themselves. And Ed needs all of the looking after that Ed can get because
That's right.
that little kid has had a tough life.
All right, cool.
Oh, that's not true.
Not tough.
What was it?
Yeah, Toss Waddle.
Packing all the luck into
Maybe I'd like to
12
drive
years.
back. You catch your own way back. I'll see you back at the.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah, no worries.
I slip him a little coin.
say-
and just
oh,
to
he's
let
like,
his
yeah,
mom
I'll,
enjoy some time at the rocks. The ship's
Yeah, no
in.
worries. Go check out the shipping and grab
See if there's
myself a
any,
beverage.
yeah.
Oh, well, can you go past the market and just pick up a few things for supper, darling?
Yeah, might need I'll put it on the expense account. No worries.
Yes, yes, you know. It's time.
No worries. I'll
The
head
expense
down by
account, when
the
he says that, I wink at him.
Thanks, man. You enjoy the Bentley. Watch those tight corners. You know, long limousines. They have don't take them so quickly.
Reminds me of driving the staff vehicles back in the, well, a couple of years ago. Actually, I'm a fine guy.
Excellent. No worries. So he tips his little smart hat and makes his way over towards the trams, just over by the quay, and to head up towards the Haymarket area. Get you some bits and pieces. Meanwhile, you guys are making your way through the crowd,
Yep.
and you're heading in the direction of this long limousine, which is your way out of here as well. Albert, what do you jump
Hustling
in the
the kid
car?
to the back, and I'm just going to see people coming, and I'm just like, whoa, hand delivered this time.
Give me a listen, I guess. Not listen, just a spot hidden
Okay.
roll.
78. No.
Yeah, that must be out there somewhere.
Getting up. I'm just looking.
Yeah, just looking around.
The problem is I'm looking for Ed this way, not this way.
No, yeah, it's a very different thing. Like when people put pens on the desk sitting upright.
You're like, what's this? This is not what I was
Can't see
looking for.
them. Regardless of which, you're hanging out, and you guys eventually, this guy is gaining on you as you get closer to the car. Do you want to break into a full run, or are you still trying to hide yourself?
I'm just running now.
Okay, cool. So at this point, give me a spot hidden roll.
Albie, you should just jump in the front. You and Shroppy can catch up on everything. Ooh, 11. What is
And
my
you go-
spot hidden?
And you
Pretty
notice
good. I would say
there
it's
are
pretty good.
people
Yeah,
rushing
I don't even have it.
at speed through a crowd across the quay towards you,
Don't have it, and you still make it.
Still make it.
towards your vehicle.
Oh, darling, who's that? Is that the little boy?
And your attention is all drawn towards
I
this
think I know
situation.
odds.
And you all notice that this funny train where you
Friends of yours,
see
Waddles?
Naira holding a small child under her arm and running at speed, and then somewhere a little bit behind them, moving through the crowd, is a large Chinese man moving also at speed with a stern look on their face. And then behind them, are you picking up speed?
Oh yeah, this large, plain,
And even larger.
Bobby he's got a wake of people that are just kind of being shoved
Yeah.
out of the way.
All heading in your general direction.
I'm actually gonna just step around the car, open the back door, and then make eye contact with this gentleman of ill repute.
Oh yes.
And do the old.
They've got to go in the boot, not the back door.
Give me an intimidation roll.
That's a 79. It's getting better. I go like this. I'm like, well, I've got my gun on this side. I'm just showing him my little whiskey bottle.
You see him raising an eyebrow at your shapely waist.
I'm like,
He's like, oh.
I don't know if I can put it on like this.
He's like, really? As he sort of does notice you and notice that you guys are aware of him. And at that, he seems to sort of break off and he's moving more parallel to your direction now, and more just trying to get a good line on the car and the car's registration plates, and really inspecting, looking all three of you upside, like up and down. He's just really taking you all in.
Why, is he not approaching the car anymore?
No, because he's seen that there's an obvious connection between the two. He's not, doesn't seem like a stupid gentleman. Not in the slightest. And he's seen that you all seem to be related somehow. He hasn't caught sight of you yet. But as he's moving away, are you going to be following him or moving towards the vehicle?
I'll move towards the vehicle.
Who's in? Are you in the vehicle? In the boot.
I'm in the back.
I've thrown Ed unceremoniously into the back seat when you open the door.
Oh, they've had it reupholstered. It's a nice
Throw
green
the
leather.
driver's seat.
In the car? That's what the
Next
boot was
to
open
me.
for.
Normally Ed rides on the sideboard.
Who is this strange
What?
child? Do you know
Why?
this?
Who's throwing people in the
Don't-
back seat with Betty?
Is
I was
this
like,
one
keep-
of yours?
Keep your arms just like keep the bags at the back.
Oh.
Ed,
Yep.
I'm outside the car, Tom.
Oh, there you are. Sorry. It's a dangerous game you're playing here, Inspector. Looks like your little friend there may be causing a bit of fuss.
I think that gentleman over there is the fussy.
It's time for me to wind down the window. What's going on?
None of your concern. Official business.
Are you?
Official government.
Am I
business.
detained?
No, you can go about your day, sir. So, and now you've got an Ed caught up in it. That child is impressionable.
So,
So you're actually driving away.
I drive off about 5 or 10 meters, and then I stop and I look out and go, "Is he detained?"
Darling, you forgot Albie. Where's the point we're here for?
No, she is not detained.
I'm going to
Is anyone keeping an eye on
Yeah.
this Xianwu?
I am keeping an eye on this gentleman with a painter's eye, drinking in his features.
I am steering
As
him
he
down.
is yours.
It's like
You see that he is joined by another gentleman. Looks like a very regularly dressed person, but wearing a black leather overcoat and a fedora, broad-brimmed in the Australian style.
Do I recognize him?
Not somebody that you recognize, this character, but actually, give me a intelligence roll.
Fail.
Okay. His face seems familiar. Local. You can't quite place it.
Probably ran into him on some outing.
Maybe on Dixon Street sometime. You're not sure. You'd have to ask around, but maybe crime affiliated.
I don't think they're out time done.
Tommy, come with me. I'm going to approach them.
Wait, so you're getting out of the car?
No,
I'm
he's
not
never in
in
there.
the- never in the car.
As we've established,
You're
he's
the
on the other side of the car,
Ed's in the
to
back.
windows.
You're in the back.
I'm in the back next to Ed,
I'm
still
alone in the
trying
front.
to figure out.
They've made some distance away from you, and as you approach them, they continue to keep that distance.
Oi! You two, hold up a moment. What's going on here? Keep walking on.
All right, so they were about 15 meters away. They move off into a side street at this point.
Yes.
Shall we make pursuit?
You
I
summon
will-
the car with a gesture.
I will move up and around that side street, not into it.
Okay, so you're gonna
Look
try
down
and
that side street.
Darling,
Is it empty
I
of
think
humans now?
Albie's really out of sorts from that trip. You better
Alright,
go. get
Do I know this side street?
Are we
yeah,
right
you know
to
the
go?
roads
Is it a
very
good
well.
one for
This is
getting
your
jumped?
beat. Sorry,
Is it a good one for getting
it's
jumped?
an amazing one for getting jumped. The whole of the rocks in this part of the city is just like, as soon as you go off the main streets, like into the back alleys.
Yep.
As soon as you go like, it's first streets. It's like just where people are putting out all their trash and stuff like that. But you go much further than that, then it's just knife alley all the
Oh,
way.
it's super standard.
Yeah, I am gonna.
Also, they're
I'll
building
have
the
a think
footings
on.
for the harbour bridge right now.
All right. Well,
Even I don't like to walk down there.
But you do.
I do. Yes, I have to.
Yeah, you have to.
So.
someone's got to keep the beat, Tommy.
Yeah. Speaking of.
You put on your leather gloves, the kid gloves.
The
Well,
knuckle
there's
duster.
police
the
issues,
old,
brass
knuckle
knuckles.
dusters.
They've got the word police across the front of them.
Misspelled though.
Copper.
Surely misspelled.
Exactly.
You got them engraved yourself.
They're not made of copper. They're made of brass. And they're gonna go in.
All right, you're gonna head down the alley.
If I'm not back in 5, tell my mum I love her.
Let's look. I have a sneaking suspicion on this one. Come with me.
Well,
We've
you're the
got
brains
things
of
to
this
discuss.
organisation.
That's right.
And for one reason or other, you all end up back in the same car.
Right, you're out on the skirting, the running board though. I can't have you inside.
Oh,
Position.
no, fair enough, ma'am. You've always been so lovely to me.
You sort of like take one last touch of the beautifully upholstered green seats. Oh, the smell. Oh, you sort of-
Todswaddle's going to be just devastated with the state of this now.
He'll clean it up. It's his job.
and the car moves off to where?
I'm going to catch up to
I'm
Albert. He's
I'm in.
We're all in.
You all get together. So you guys
kicked
leave
Ed
the
out, he's on
pursuit.
the
You all
running
get
board.
together.
Positions in relation to the car.
You're in the boot.
I think we have something to discuss. Waddle?
Yes. Well, let's
No,
go.
I have supper back at our house. Well, breakfast really.
Yes,
at this point.
let's go somewhere for food and we can discuss.
Do you know this gentleman?
Do you make your way to Kirribilli? It's about an hour drive.
Oh, let's go to my apartment. I'm gonna wear out the place anyway. and-
Certainly not. No, as Betty said, dinner is on. It's just an hour drive. Your
not very
friend is
far,
welcome to join
really.
us. There's plenty of room.
Oh well, can't turn a lady down for dinner.
No, that wouldn't be polite.
All right.
Even if it's brunch.
I just think I'll bang on the window.
Powers of
Depends on
observation
how
are
long the
outstanding,
drive is.
Betty.
It's Naira, I think we've got some things to talk about. You'll have to come along as well.
Well, Nara's in the boot still,
That's
right?
right. Banged on the back of the
Well,
glass.
What was that?
Hold tight. It's only going to be about an hour.
What did you pack in your luggage, Albie?
One informant.
An hour!
It's an hour's rest. Go back to sleep.
Do I know if Shen Wu has any, forms of, like, transport that he can follow us with?
The organization is broad and well funded.
Fantastic, and we're in a very conspicuous getaway vehicle.
Oh, I've got
Oh yeah,
tons.
your vehicle would be very easy to track down. It's a very limited edition
Yes,
Bentley
yes.
limousine, I believe.
Yes.
Gold, in fact.
Personal
Yes,
plates.
of course, personalized license plates.
Tasteful.
What do the license plates say?
Oh,
The license plates are, in fact, our address.
In case the car gets misplaced.
oh no, there must be like EL.
EL1.
Yeah, EL1.
Excellent. All right.
And then I have EL2 and EL3.
So as you start moving away from the city center off to the shore side, you start moving through areas of twisted ghost gums and trees, the smell of the eucalypt fresh in the morning. So as the car leaves the suburbs, it starts to roll out into more sprawling estates, broken up by extensive bushland. The sounds of rainbow lorikeets and cockatoos sort of echoing through the morning breeze as the sound of the city leaves you behind. And you pass a line of well-kept and abstract hedges. As the path opens, as you go off the main road and onto a small dirt track that leads to a well-groomed estate. Please describe your villa.
Oh, it's very bungalow, that, you know, California bungalow, red brick kind of thing. Stained glass, nice veranda around the outside with that nice tile kind of work.
It's like a very stately Queenslander.
Yeah. Well manicured gardens, you know, rose bushes as well, just harking back to, you know, that colonial heritage and yeah.
Some lovely pots of lantana.
And
Lovely, all kinds of like broken colored glass in various wind chimes dangling around the outside of the exterior, making for an interesting sound as you all approach. Small concrete and stone statues of gargoyles and fairies sort of line the garden beds,
Dozens of
which
cats.
are mostly native plants, but you see several well-kept herb gardens sort of dotted among them, European plants. And you were led through
is Markham is my
Housekeeper?
housekeeper who opens up the place, gets service ready. She has some rooms ready for you already.
No, thank you,
So,
Debbie.
we organise a boy. Oh, look, we've got one. You can take them to the rooms.
Yes, milady.
My goodness! Oh, you're in a
could find
terrible
employment.
state. Oh goodness! Are you sure these people? You would? Shall we put this one up in the servants' quarters?
It's probably best.
All right, very well. Let me
take
show you
anything,
to a place to stay. And young son, oh, aren't you adorable? A little rough around the edges there, but we'll get you sorted out in no time,
Oh, thank you, sir. That's very kind.
ma'am.
Oh, ma'am, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a
sorry.
ma'am. No, it's hard to tell. I am old. Woohoo! More, not quite as beautiful as I used to be.
I'd like to hire anyone
ma'am.
more attractive than I am.
Well, you are lovely. You have those lovely eyes.
Yes, yes, well, you are a charmer, aren't you? Where'd you find this boy? I've got a little set of clothes set aside. We'll put you in. You'll be smartened up in no time. So she whisks the two of you away. And it's just like, it's a bit like, do you turn on your charms? You do have some.
Remember your training.
Throughout the car trip, I have been thinking about what possibly could have led Shenwu to me and why he was there. So I would have been preoccupied with those thoughts.
Look, give me a intelligence roll.
72.
Not sure, but they're an extensive organization. They do their research. The only thing that you could think of is if you had a lot of research on them, and they knew who you were, and they maybe if they somehow infiltrated like the intelligence organization that you worked for, they might have found out who was working on the case and
It was
compiling
Robert.
information on them.
Robert was the mole.
Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but it could be that that information was somehow passed on to you, and they're just trying to plug up loose ends.
Got brunch set out on the deck, overlooking the pond and fountain,
I'm gonna go
with
eat.
the peacocks roaming the lawns.
Been up for 3 hours already. Lugging drunks back down to the harbour.
More strapping young lads such as yourself should be well fed.
So Ed is brought back to the table by Markham, Lady Markham, who has smartened you up.
Ms. Markham.
Ms. Markham. Ms. Markham, and has smartened Ed up considerably and put him in a little green vest with a little white shirt and some red pants and some shiny
Dapper,
black
doesn't
shoes,
he?
and has got out the pomade and
As
slicked
Miss
down your
Markham
hair. So
learned
you
your
look
secret?
and keeps pinching your cheeks so they're all red and rosy.
She probably wonders why I'm so private, though. But yeah, no, that's I'm being good.
All right, awesome. Yeah, you're very, very charming. She's very charmed by you, and there's a place set for you at the table, and you all gather for the first time in a while. And at a certain point in the meal, the small talk gets cast aside, and grim disposition falls over Albert's face.
What trouble have you brought to me, Al?
Well, generally when I come here, it tends to be a bit of a holiday from winning. But-
Don't say such things. You know her and I are like this.
No, I know. She's delightful when she's in Hong Kong and I'm in Sydney. I absolutely love her.
You shameful thing.
But
Oh, you rogue. What? I wish you could find the sort of relationship that I have.
oh,
It's constantly delighted by their
Shoppy.
oppressive presence.
knowing my luck at the moment, I will. I actually think the problem is that I'm going to be here for work this time. Naira, it's why I think that you might find a bit of use here at the table. What you told me.
Say.
Well, I mean, as you both know, we've
I
been
violently stab something.
doing
Yes, swiftly and almost like magic produces a switchblade. Gunk.
Well, guess that's canon. I was gonna say stab my food, but cool.
Yeah, and
I,
stabs some food.
I wiggle it out
Does
of
it
the
feel
lacquered table. I put a coaster and I stick it in the coaster.
Does it seem like a channeled moment? Is like the
Oh,
spirit
yeah.
taking over her?
Could be, yeah.
Oh.
She's She's vibrant and full of spirits.
This informant's a loose.
She definitely smells like she's been full of spirits recently.
But look, we've been doing what we can to keep the opium off the streets, eh, Tommy? Making sure that it doesn't end up amongst the populace. But I actually think, there hasn't been enough movement for the homeland, and there's a new organization that's reared its head recently. The Black Dragon Society.
Well, that sounds sinister.
Well, absolutely ridiculous. Who names this a Black Dragon Society?
So this immediately strikes for you because you remember, you didn't know what they were called, but you do remember that a lot of these people had brandings on them of a black dragon. A lot of the agents that they killed of your organization, it was like their calling card.
And that white-eyed person who's following you?
Well, here's the thing. No one really gives a shit about them these days, but they took someone important is what happened. The son of one of our daughters, Fair Blossom, one of the Whitehall fellows, has vanished off the map.
Anyone I know?
A bit young for you, I think.
We could check to see if she's passed over.
The father.
Oh, what was his name?
Throppington.
Throppington.
From Whitehall.
Throppington from Whitehall.
Whitehall Throppingtons.
Give me a... At this point, I would like you to make a credit rating roll.
Oh, I can't.
You can't.
My credit rating is
You
0.
can ask me,
of
darling.
course.
she probably has a better chance of knowing.
Would you mind?
No, just give me a luck roll.
Negatory.
Yes, daughter of Throppington. Has been taken. Grisly crime. A couple of the British agents cut up into pieces, branded with black dragons. But unfortunately, they're linked to the opium trade. It's how they're funding. So this easier job we've been having.
So anyone with a score in psychology of above 15 can make a roll.
Why am I even looking? Oh, hang on.
Is that including one?
Ooh,
Oh,
Oh yeah, 4. It's a crit
4.
success.
Nice.
Crit success.
Okay, so the people who are astute notice as you mention grisly crime that Naira starts going into kind of a fugue state as you sort of visions of alleys with bodies laid out, filleted and cut to pieces, expert knife work and swords, rending them apart, and some of them in ways that you couldn't even comprehend, like some machine just tore them completely asunder. Their gizzards painting the walls, faces stapled to boxes, and the symbol of the black dragon left burning on their flesh.
I take the switchblade out of the coaster and fiddle with it nervously.
Anyway, so you notice, anyone who had an astute roll notices that there's some kind of reaction there.
Oh, I feel like the spirits really could be challenged through
I've
you.
got so many questions about how to staple a face to a box. Is it like 2 here, or is it 1 here on the cheeks? Like, where is it?
Old saying goes, Logie, there's more than one way to staple a face to the box.
Anyway, that's all what's going on inside of Naira's head.
But unfortunately means that this might actually be a level of work. And by the look of it, by that fellow that we saw tracking you down, it looks like they're after us as well.
What?
Well, maybe not you, but a bit late now, we are here.
No, I'm not so concerned about myself. What about Betty? They could be coming here for us.
I'm
Well-
sure the spirits will protect us, darling. It'll be fine.
The
We could
spirits-
we could maybe channel some of these people who were killed and see if they can give us some more clues. I mean,
That's
I'm
a
sure.
capital
I-
idea.
Yes, you
I
should
could use
start
one of my
working.
You
also
start
writing.
lighting the
I'm going to
candles
start
now.
lighting candles.
you would need some kind of keepsake
Oh,
of
yes.
the or something
Maybe you could get
from
a
one of the
face.
people who died.
Do you have any boxes around the place?
Did you bring anything from the people who
Only
were
the
killed?
horrible mememories of what happened to this poor girl.
Are you sure there's nothing in your luggage, perhaps?
I could take a look. Oh, yes. Give me a moment. I pick up an extra little bit of bacon and put it over the luggage and rifle through.
No, unfortunately, you were not given, apart from information that was imparted to you by a word of mouth, all to be top secret, you weren't given any memorabilia from these people who were killed.
I'm
tell
going to
Miss
bring
Markham to stop
one of
lighting
the official
candles.
documents with my boss's signature on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, this is a signed document from someone who had a deep, very deep, emotional connection with the young lady in question. Maybe.
So this is
they
the
could
report,
guide
the
you.
official report that was handed to you.
Yeah.
Yes. Naira, you sort of glance over and you notice Robert's name on the report.
What does it say about him?
Well, you notice that he's taken an interest in this piece of paper.
Something about.
Can I have a look at that?
Well, quick brief through, nothing too untoward or embarrassing for the service in there.
Yeah, looks like it's pretty standard. It's just a basic outline of the instances in the colonies, in particular, the incident in Nanjing, where the agents who were looking into it were kind of torn to pieces.
Take a look. See if it any brings back any memories.
So it's a report from Robert, and he was the one who was delivering the information to your superiors, Albert, and he's basically saying, this is a past report. Your superior believes that the organization is acting again in certain shipments, and they've found evidence of the Black Dragon symbol being stapled on people they've sent to do something about it, but they haven't found any people this time. The most extensive reports that were ever kept were actually kept by you in your personal notebooks on the people. But in that, Robert kind of outlines it, but he said it seems like he describes the incident, he describes the nature of the corpses. He said he lists the agents involved and says that due to ineptitude in their duty, they have been reassigned to other roles. And do you go by the same name, Naira?
I would have had a different alias when I was in the service, I would say.
Okay, cool. This document just lists the names of the people, the agents who were on it, who were disbanded to different places, but doesn't give an extensive description. You could probably get access to that, but not from where you are.
Is my name on the list?
No.
Your incompetence isn't that legendary, Ollie.
It's good to know.
Is the report correct? Like, if I have memories
Yes, of
of
course.
the
You were there.
incident, is Robert being factual on the report?
Robert seems to be glazing over certain details. There were definitely the quantities are different. So the amount of opium that is being talked about is less than what should have been stated.
Standard procedure.
But furthermore, what particularly perks your interest is that much of the investigation that you were looking into at this time was actually to do with a collection of antiques that had been discovered in Nanjing at the time and was trying to be moved to the British Museum. But Robert, it's strange because all of the people associated with that and all the agents who knew about it were killed, the ones who actually knew what was in the boxes. They were the ones who died. You kind of came in afterwards and found the scene. You were the first person on the scene. You were one of the key investigators who was investigating this Black Dragon syndicate. You knew a handful of people who were involved in Nanjing. Of those people, the only person you know of now is this Shenwu character. But the artifacts, they're not being mentioned here at all. And the opium, it's a smaller amount. So what Robert is reporting is not entirely factual.
That's what Naira does.
Oh, I'm going to do my glasses.
No, it's not that. This report is, wrong.
What's wrong with the report?
It doesn't speak of the antiques.
Well, I mean, I'm looking into opium, so unless they're stuffed with this stuff.
I describe whatever situation it was.
Okay, so At this point, the memories that I previously described presented to all of you. Even you're like preparing the seance, you're like, ooh, grisly details. And you sort of lend your ear.
Technically, that's very difficult. Stapling a face to a box is very difficult. I can't get past it.
Speak in like fairly hushed tones, but I gather you might be
Get
shocked
emotional.
and like repeat certain details just in shock.
And one of your closest friends was one of the agents who was killed. In fact, they were all people you were working with very closely. And all that you have left of them is this switchblade, your only keepsake.
We could use that.
I was talking
Light the candles!
What? to channel the spirits. Then we can find out more detail. You know, people who were there are much better witnesses.
It's quite incredible. Seriously, light the candles, join a circle, let's hold hands, and let her do her thing. Over to you, Betty.
I'll get my ink pen and my paper. Auto writing is the new thing I'm working on. I used to just channel them and speak in tongues, but now I find writing so much more effective.
Get a really quick sweating at her.
Much more empirical.
I kind of push it over. Don't.
No, we all
Burn
need
it.
to be here.
Oh,
So I have the
Lord.
room all set up. You know, we go to a special room.
Nice.
It's all
Sneak
dark.
Can we both sneak out?
And towards the kitchens to maybe feel my belly a bit more.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, no worries. I mean, you were being fed a lot at the luncheon.
Oh, okay. Well, then don't bother. Can I get under the table though and tie Tom's shoes together?
Yes, you can. Give me a sleight of hand roll.
Are you saying that these Shen Wu, whatever his name is, they saw our car, they have an interest in us, they could be coming.
Damn, child.
There's a chance. I
They're
the-
almost definitely.
I go to the gun safe, I
I mean,
equip
they're
myself
They're
with
gonna have to track us down.
the
Like,
two
how are they
pistols,
gonna
and I
find?
lean the shotgun against the couch.
We don't have the most inconspicuous getaway vehicle.
I didn't buy it for a getaway.
Yes, but
And
if
it's
they're gonna
nothing.
find the address,
Well,
you know,
I
they're gonna have
did
to
buy
go
it for a
to the-
getaway, didn't I,
down there,
darling?
the council house, look them up.
Blue Mountains
It's
was
a
a lovely
long.
trip.
We've got time. We've got time. While I'm saying this, I'm rolling a cigarette,
40
and I
and
reach in my
30.
pocket and I pull
Can I
out this
also
like
get
little,
him?
little black hash and sprinkle it in there. Roll it tight, break it in half.
Okay.
Alright. The smoke, the candle, the incense, I'm ready. I just need some spiritual energy.
All right,
that
so
you can
as the
contribute
two
to
of
me.
you stand up from the table to join them in the seance room, make dexterity rolls. Under your difficulty, under half.
No.
No.
All right, so you both
96.
immediately trip up and fall over. Now make another dexterity roll to try and catch yourselves.
Luckily,
Oh,
I
6.
plunged through the buffet.
So you managed to like catch yourself quite happily, like slump down on a chair as you sort of stumble and you realize your shoelaces are tied together, and you face plant through the table and all this fine crystal and delicately prepared cucumber sandwiches just
Oh! God, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened there.
You look down, you
Try and get
realize-
up
Really, you
against
should
this-
try to have better respect for the lady. She put on this lovely lunch and you just fall into it.
You know what? You're going to have to stay around, and I'm going to have to summon Nanny, and you're going to have to apologise for this.
No, it's
Yes,
quite alright.
ma'am.
He is technically on duty.
Miss
so
Markham's
we'll
there
just
going,
send-
oh my lord! What a crying shame! You've wrecked the table! Oh, bloody heck!
Oh, this
Come
is
on,
gonna-
you Eddie? Oh, little Eddie. Oh, you're covered. You've got cream puffs all over your face. Come on to the kitchen. I'll get you a couple of scones and jam.
Thank
I'm
you.
like folding the broadsheet and rolling into an ever tighter thing, and I'm just like looking at Ed.
Ow.
Come on, chop chop!
Every
Spirits, don't wait for it. I'm feeling it coming on already.
I'll
Oh.
just be 10 minutes.
It's a strong one.
I picked that half cigarette up off the floor.
All right,
I
thus
start.
prepared. So Ms.
Time
Markham
issues
takes
in
you
double.
away. Did anyone else want to try and make a quick getaway? Seance table?
I'm,
What
I'm,
experience this? It's phenomenal.
I'm too full to move.
Ms. Markham's like, I don't care what you're doing with yourselves in your own time, but you know, the young'uns, they shouldn't be exposed to such hogswash.
All right, We'll take him away, close up the doors, don't disturb us for the next hour and a half.
Alright. Come on. We've got a whole lot of games for you downstairs.
Oh, gee, thanks, Lee. Thanks, miss.
You can call me Marky.
Oh, Marky, alright.
Alright, so the 5 of you now sit around the table. You place the switchblade that belonged to your dear friend. What was their name?
Robin.
Who was torn to pieces on the scene when you found them. Once more, you describe the scene in harrowing detail to these people. An alley strewn with the remains of your friends. And you all join hands.
Before we do that, I'll give my little Medal of St. Michael a little bit of a rub and a quick prayer for forgiveness for engaging on all of this sorceress hogswaddle, but I'll just pay for that later.
Sorry, what was her name again? Sorry.
Robin.
This is how we pay for breakfast.
Just sort yourself out at confession, and I'm sure it'll all be absolved.
Always is.
I start speaking in a little bit of French and Italian and German because it sounds all complicated and complex and confuses some of the other ladies.
Okay, so give me a persuasion roll first. Persuasion or fast talk is good as well.
Yeah, persuasion. I've got
Pretty
it.
solid.
Yep.
Describes
Cool, awesome.
her to an internet.
Alright, so you're all very much in the mood at this point. You really genuinely believe that what she's doing may have some results, or at least not your
it's
curiosity is piqued, and that lends itself so you can now make an occult roll with advantage.
What does that mean with advantage?
Two
You roll
tens
two
dice.
10s dice.
And
Choose.
choose the better 10.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'll take that one, I think.
Sure.
Oh, I'll take that one anyway. 10. That is,
Is it enough?
oh, I dare say so with my occult. Oh,
No.
it's a critical.
It's a what?
So as you all
It's
join,
a what? Yeah.
as you
That's,
all
or is it 100? No, it's
It's a
10.
critical.
Yeah,
Good
okay,
as
good.
you all join hands, you feel a sense of energy sort of rising up from the base of your spine, and the hair stands up on ends all the way up to your heads. You feel some kind of connection going between you, and then possibly for the first time in your entire life,
I start by just recanting exactly what she said and writing it out with my opposite
Spookily.
hand.
and you see Elizabeth's head lean back fully, her esophagus open up and inflate, and then from inside this red mist starts to rise out from her as her eyes have rolled completely
spit my
back
whiskey.
in her head.
Never in 5 years.
I'm being so bored of these things.
The lights in the room flicker and dim and then reignite to an ambient green glow that dives everything into an almost aquatic ambience as this red figure made from swirling mist, swirling vapor of what seems like blood and bodily fluids rises above, and you see it starting to manifest into the form of your friend Robin, torn across the face, torn across the chest, a suit reassembling itself.
Just
Sort of leans back and looks down and sees the knife, a black-handled switchblade with a dragon engraved on the blade. So it looks down, looks up. Naira,
Robin?
Naira, where am I? The abyss calls to me.
We're in Sydney.
So alone. Sydney. I am unfamiliar.
In Australia?
Help me! Help me! I'm trapped!
I try and reach for...
Your hand like passes. Well, you break the circle.
No, break the circle. I've just got like a cigarette suit and one moment. I'll pump it harder. More if you're required. like the puffy red face. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Didn't even get a chance to start my writing. I'm still connected.
Alright, so you're being urged not to break the circle. The hand of Albert grips you tightly.
Okay.
I remember the papers. You never break the circle.
Don't worry, this always happens.
What do you mean always?
Also, I'm led to believe.
Who
Who are these people? What do you want from me?
You can see there are these tethers, like hooks,
really a
as she
conduit?
starts to manifest further.
I can't
They're
speak.
gripping into her flesh as if they're trying to drag her back to some other place.
Robin, we're trying to get the organization that did this to you.
What happened to the opium?
The opium. Fuck the opium. This isn't about opium anymore. The Black Dragons, they've trapped me. Trapped me in their urn. Like all the other agents they killed. And all the other souls they dragged to their hells. Through their trade. The opium. It's not there to corrupt them. It's not there for money. It's there to sap our souls slowly into the objects that were unearthed in Nanjing.
I spit out the cigarette. What?
They keep us alive. It's hard to.
You see her face shift through to another figure, and then another, just faces that you don't recognize. Some of them you do, the other agents, but then it shifts through and her body turns into more faces again. Many other people that you see, catch glimpses of, but don't recognize. Make a perception roll. Make a spot hidden roll.
I really hope my nanny's coming here because you need to apologize.
Okay, good. And then it reassembles back into the shapes. It drags me back there even now. My soul was not destroyed by opium like so many others who are already there, or being dragged there slowly day by day. But I still feel my sanity going day by day.
How do we stop Shenwu?
Shenwu is just one of many. They have the urn, the obsidian urn. It is sacred to the cult when it was unearthed from the Emperor of the Jade Heavens in Nanjing. Unearthed from the tomb of the Jade Emperors in Nanjing. It was taken from us by the Black Dragon Society.
Where is this blasted urn now?
I don't know where it was taken to. I don't know where they have it. But it was kept on the Celia Eclipse. They come even now.
Hold it, Betty.
Look up.
And disappears, and you've taken 3 points of damage.
Sure.
From that. And everybody can make a sanity check. So everybody who passed the test, you'd only lose 1 sanity point.
Woo!
Did anyone fail the test?
I did.
Excellent. So you can roll d6.
You've never seen me like this before.
You're a braver man than I, seeing this every other week. 3 times a week and on Saturday
3.
afternoons.
So you lose 3 points, which is not enough to push you over the edge.
I've seen some
Yet.
shit already. But if I see any more shit today, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Awesome. Alright, so the apparition vanishes. It sucks back into the body of the chair, like rocks back, and you see your tears.
No, she looks terrible.
Yeah, she looks terrible. Tears of blood.
I
are
make
sort
a
of
first
rolling
aid check. I
on her
try
face.
and deal with some of these wounds that I can see on her, the pallor, the nail beds,
yeah,
all
she
this sort
needs
of
some
stuff.
kind of laudanum or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
I'll run to my
Where
bag.
would we get some?
I looked
So you
down
go
at
to the
my
medicine
paper.
cabinet.
I'll run to my bag.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't write anything.
No, settle down. No.
I don't know.
Oh, thank you, Ogie. Tweet.
I make my medicine or first aid check.
Yeah, cool. So you get her some
Sitting
sedatives,
down,
like
fanning her.
you sort of, yeah.
Raise your
She just
feet.
needs some rest. She just needs to raise her feet and get
Oh,
under
I've got
control.
some chocolates in the car. Miss Markham!
Okay, so nothing like this has ever happened to you before.
Wow, okay.
What do you remember? Nothing? Anything? All of it?
We had hands. I remember so much of what I had
Do you
heard.
remember vomiting the blood ghost?
What?
All you remember is
Telling you about what had happened with the killing, and then my mind went blank. I'm so disappointed I mustn't have been able to give you anything, because there's...
But you have rattling around in your head. It's like, as you're talking about it now, these images start coming back to you. Images of a ship. Like a cargo ship. Of some description.
You said
The
this.
Celia Eclipse.
You don't get a name, but you
I can
see
see a
it
ship.
vividly.
I think it's still imprinted in my mind.
And you see a face. It's a face of a man. You should describe it to these people, and it seems like a very similar description of the man in the broad-brimmed fedora that you saw at the docks.
Oh.
But as he looks at you, you see him looking at you from your vision. Feel like he's seeing you, and you see eyes ablaze with a green.
I imbibe some more water.
And it's just
Easy now.
yeah, memories.
Share it around.
I fear, Waddles, that we're going to have to give up the opium, as it were, and substitute it with something a little less spiritually corrosive.
Well, my concern is manifest that this black
So you come back in at this point.
urn business and what's already in there.
Oh,
You
sounds
all
like
look
that.
like you saw a ghost.
Miss Markham, tea!
Don't be smart,
tea.
kid.
So Markham's like, oh yeah, I'll get the crumpets straight away.
So we had it the wrong way around. The opium is merely a front for the antiquing.
Of people's souls into a goddamn urn.
Well, yeah, antiquing.
What happened?
Everyone's souls in this room is in jeopardy. And this must be brought to heel.
Look, I've heard that before, but I can tell you and assure you that spiritualism will not send your soul to...
It can all
Fuck
be
it,
paid
Betty,
off.
you don't understand this time. This is serious.
I don't know. I'm
I
busy
still have
Such
Sunday.
language!
So I'm just waiting for you to get close enough. I'm not the mood.
No.
Casual violence towards children. That's why we play these period
It
games for.
doesn't
I
have
still
that
have
many
the
points.
notebook.
Do you still have?
The notebook.
You put him in hospital.
Yeah. You keep it on you at all times. It's like it's in
Okay,
your
I'm
little
just like
bundle of
flipping
stuff.
through it.
So yeah, you flip through it, and there's no mention of this strange pale dude. Essentially, that's what he looked like. He didn't seem like you've got him in your head. He didn't seem like he was of any particular nationality. He was just pale, like all the pigment had been taken from his skin. It looked like there were maybe a few liver spots here and there.
Now, albino.
But yeah, definitely, quite possibly, you don't remember seeing any eyebrows. Whether or not they were just white or not there at all is another question.
Alopecia.
But there's no mention of him in this book. But there's, as well as Shen Wu, who you had the description of, there were 3 other operatives. There was a man with... there was a small, hunched man who always walked around with a bit of a limp. He had very long arms. And you remember seeing him in several deals, observing him incognito. He always had very long fingernails. And a big bushy beard. You referred to him. What nickname did you give to this hunched guy with the big bushy beard and the long claws?
Floor face.
Clawface.
Of course you've...
And they would also hang out with one other person who was a woman. And she always appeared in very practical clothes. But she always kept her face masked, so you never knew what she looked like underneath the mask. But she had what looked like the top of a black dragon tattoo coming over her right eye. What did you call her? She wore a hood and a masked face and just wore practical clothes.
The witch?
The witch. She's definitely had a power over people, but not the same kind of power over people that Shenwu did.
What was the first place?
Clawface.
Clawface.
But they all did seem to be able to move
The clawed hands.
amongst the people. Have you told them about what you saw?
What I saw? What have I seen?
I hope you're not in any dangerous situations there, Ed.
So these guys are talking. Are you sharing this information with people?
Yes, so I would have had like sketches of them in my book. And like known like locations, aliases, yada yada yada. So I kind of just like show them out, trying to look for the very pale guy.
Yeah.
But he's not in the book.
But he's not in the book. But you say
Make
Shenwu.
a-
So you were you remember being in the corridor, and you remember when Shenwu went up to the
You have a
lady.
military
Yes.
background, don't you?
He knocked out the guard, then came up
Intelligence?
to Nira.
Wait,
Oh,
is
no,
this
came
as
up
a
to-
player or-
The
And then
madam.
and then
This is in
scared.
character.
Oh,
She just backed off.
Yeah, he
no.
just looked at her, looked deep into her eyes, and then she just became like
That's right.
she
I think I hit
became
my psychology. I can...
complacent.
Complacent.
I hear you.
Oh, Nira, I don't know if it's really relevant at all. But I did see the big guy, the scary guy with the white eye. He did, the old lady Eliza. He just kind of stared into her eyes like all weird like, and I'd never seen Liza back down from any old bloke. And she just passed. She was just
I've
shriveled.
seen that before. Huju, they call it.
Well, obviously
Seen it in
it's
Africa one
Huju. Like, not midget.
is this significant to me at all?
You've never seen it before, but you know that these people had a strange power that they wielded over. Like if this is the case, and they had some power of hypnosis, of persuasion, then that would explain a lot how they could move without being seen, how people wouldn't remember all the details about their operations or what they were doing.
It makes sense. I've seen Eliza stare down a tram.
I kind of made a couple of rolls, and just listening to the interaction here with Naira, I kind of got a hint that she had a lot of information about people that were connected with Waddles in that book. And I asked her if she had a military background, and she said she didn't, in such a way that I'm kind of now going to just speak to the table. Like, we're all military people, except for Ed, who's clearly too young to understand.
Oi, you don't know me.
I know, and Betty, who I'm assuming wouldn't, but I need to get serious. Gentlemen, they could be coming for us.
Of war victims.
They could be coming for us, and our situation is not static. I don't mean to alarm you, but we should perhaps pack a car, maybe a less obvious one. The
Austin.
Green.
perhaps even the sedan.
No.
But we
Well,
should
let him come. I
pack it.
prefer
Well, this is
straight
the-
fight
this-
to all
these-
this sneaking around.
Exactly my question. We either bunker in here for a fight, expecting them to come to us. We take to heel and try and renegotiate the encounter on our own terms, or we go to them if only we knew where they were.
Look, I'm not afraid to admit it, Porgy, but I've had the cucker scared out of me this morning. And, I think I wasn't that high when it happened, and I'm very sure it's real. The Celia Eclipse.
It's either a racehorse or a boat.
Yeah, it's got a nautical quality to it. I don't ever remember betting on it.
Pass over the broadsheet. I'll give it a quick scan.
Can we,
Miss Markham? Miss Markham?
Can I
I propose we send the help home.
Yes, Elizabeth.
And
What
we
can I
deal
do
with
for
this
you?
now.
Do we have the papers from this morning?
Yes, of course we do. Of course we do. I'll just bring them right in.
Excellent idea.
Give them to the constable.
Alright, so it brings in the
Do
morning
I
paper.
do I remember any of the ships in the harbour being the
the
Celia Eclipse?
manifest will be in the paper.
So we need, should you
Give me a
send
spot
them
hidden
home?
roll at
Send
half.
them home.
Send them home.
Well, Todd's book's not here anyway.
Oh.
Do you want to use luck?
You can use luck.
I can use luck.
Some of your massive,
A huge pool of luck.
massive pool of luck.
Oof, yeah, that's it. Burn that
What
sweet.
you
Oh,
need to do
I
is
forgot.
Ed's
That's
head
right.
for luck.
That's a third of my luck gone.
You could just
Okay,
pick it
so-
up and
Do it.
sprinkle him over.
It was
it like a
dark
little
because it was
luck
in the
shaker.
morning, but you do remember a couple of little tuggers
Oh.
going at the same time, and they were hooting and tooting their little horns, and you were, I don't know, probably it was the gin that had been keeping you awake, but and
Origin's the worst.
yeah, and you know, being on a
Best.
ship without opium for I don't know, it's a couple of weeks doesn't
It
help
was at least
either.
without Ophion halfway through.
And you remember there's some kerfuffle, and you looked out your window and you saw a couple of tugboats, and just the ambient light from the tugboats shining up revealed the name of a large cargo ship that was being ushered into Pier 6 on the wharfs just up to the north side of Circular Quay.
Do you remember what the name was?
Bleeding hell. I think the Celia Eclipse was making its way in this morning when I got it.
Well, that tears it.
Pier 6.
Let's get this show on the road.
Now, Tom, you know that sometimes cargo ships are just moved from mooring to mooring for convenience purposes. So it may not have just been, it may have been being moved around. It may have been arriving, one or the other. But you did see it being moved into a current mooring, into one of the docks.
What was the line? Look up. Well, look, if we sit around here, there's the dock put away, sitting ducks. This is a beautiful home, but not particularly defensible with all the glass.
Well, you have sight lines on all sides. Queenslander, it's off the ground.
Do you know though?
You know, that's where
it's-
all the cars are underneath.
It's an absolute killer finding good quality stained glass these days.
It's difficult.
Collection of antique machine guns is second
Right,
to
I'm
none.
going to get Miss Markham to pack me a good overnight bag, and then I'm going to send her home to see her grandkitties because she's clearly missing.
Are you sure? This little one, you need a lot of looking after.
I do, miss.
Slips you a boiled lolly.
You're in this with the rest of us, kid.
Oh,
It's time to be a man now, Ed.
No, I
All
look.
right.
I would hate to
Come
think.
here.
Look, you haven't had a
Live
weekend off
while the
in.
living's good.
I don't
know how to
even
use
know
a pistol?
when.
Well, that's because I live here. I wouldn't know where to go.
This is my service revolver.
You
You have to
know,
hold it and protect.
ever since I
Nettie.
moved out from the country and left
Understand?
my family behind,
Yes, sir.
You
your
sure you know how to use
servant's
it?
house has
Yeah.
been like a second home to me, really, and likely the only home I have.
Yep.
Show me the safety.
zone.
Well,
This.
have a night
Excellent.
in town
Right.
on me.
Oh,
I'll
Yep.
book you a room in Sydney.
oh, very well. It's very kind of
Don't
you.
worry, sir.
Shall I ring it up
With
on
your
the
general
telephone, ma'am?
size, you're now
Yes.
like-
Yes.
All right, excellent.
Not bad.
Which hotel? I'll just book I know a quiet spot down by the rocks. They'll have me there, surely. Very inexpensive. All right. It gets on the telephone. You hear the ring, ring. Hello.
the
Yes.
default.
Is this the Sleepy Hollow? Oh, yes. I'd like to book one. Just for one tonight. Thank you. Yes, a room with a bath would be lovely. Oh, I'd really like that. Yes. Oh, great. Well, I'll see you soon. All right. Be in a jiffy. All right. Great. Thanks. All right. Bye. Are you guys going into town? Should I take the buggy, or referring to the horse that she uses to, the old buggy, horse and buggy that she uses to get
I
to
think we'll
and
be
from?
heading to town. Is there another way around?
Oh no, you take the buggy.
No, we have to go by ride. Unfortunately, that bridge isn't due for completion for another 10 or 11 years.
Do you have a boat? Do
Take it so slow.
you
Oh
have
no.
a pleasure craft?
No.
We can take the ferry. Ridiculous. We need a car. We'll have to go the
We
long
need
way
to
around.
go the long way.
Well, you could drive to a closer docks. You guys do have a boat moored somewhere closer,
Do
I'm
have
assuming.
Did you buy a boat, darling?
But where is your boat moored? If you did
Just
have
the
one.
yacht.
I forgot all about that.
And
I
where is
hardly
it
go out.
moored? Why, 15 metres off the back of the garden! That's where it's moored.
On our private beach.
That's right. I do remember you saying something about that.
And there's a tender to it in the boathouse. That's what the boathouse is for, right?
You've gone up the coast. It is the bush, but it's still.
Right. Yeah. Oh, well, we could always take the yacht then.
I say we drive. It'll take longer, but it'll give us a chance to formulate our plan and get on the same page.
It also gives us more options when we arrive.
Actually, why don't we go there and send your maid with the car? We can pick it up from the hotel.
Mrs. Markham doesn't drive.
No. And
God,
Tots,
you daft.
Tots Waddle's not
How
back yet.
would she know how to drive?
I guess she's a little.
And poor.
I think that's more the case, darling, because you know I can drive
Yes.
brilliantly.
Women can do anything. Poor people, however.
Don't listen to them.
Yes,
You could be anything. you
Yes,
desire.
Augustus always was a forward-thinking gentleman. Very radical. That's probably why he had so many problems.
Your butters these put on person.
That's a-
Are there any friends within like the police agency or like agents that I know of who are also like former intelligence who can?
No, they were all scattered. But you do know a couple of cops on the take who you deal with pretty regularly.
What?
Besides me.
So I'm assuming you guys are driving and you're having these conversations in the car on the way over. Are there any phone calls that you want to make or anything you want to take with you from the house before you leave?
Yes.
Arm up.
We do have a telephone. We could make a call.
I've got my overnight bag with some lovely gowns and my tarot cards.
Okay, excellent.
I'm packing my medical kit, of course. Some extra painkillers, lauding them in case
I'm
somebody
gonna
gets
have to
shot.
Shortbread.
swing past the
Doors.
station for my.
So you bring a doctor's bag.
I'm also expecting a lot of knife wounds because there's been a lot of talk of like faces. I can't get past this. Faces stapled to boxes. I'm not.
I bring a staple remover. It might be a little late by the time the staples go in, but
It's those little pair of rounded pincers.
No, it's a small child with a little pocket knife. That's what.
Is it possible to get more rounds? Like more cartridges?
Well, I believe you keep ammunition on the premises. It just depends on.
I have shotgun rounds, which I shall take 32 and 45. If you need something else, you're out of luck.
we'll take some 32s.
I'm taking my heavy handbag.
You would have to go and see a friend in town to get your hands on some extra ammunition. You can swing by. There would actually be a gun shop on the way if you're driving, and you could definitely, Colonel or Albert, buy ammunition without any issue.
I want some more ammo for my gun.
Here's the box.
Oh, great, thank you.
Did you end up with a Derringer? Or...
You gave it
oh,
to
no,
me.
that's very nice. Yeah.
I gave her my service.
Can I see that
32.
for a moment?
Oh yeah, the small one. Yeah, nice.
With my hands. What are you thinking?
Oh.
They have to learn at some
This is
point.
the 20s. I asked if he knows how to shoot. He said yes.
I
This
know
is
how to shoot.
extenuating service. When did you shoot your
Line
first
up
How
those
old are you?
cans and let's see.
I'm plenty old.
How old?
14.
Oh,
There we
fair
go.
enough.
There we go. How many people
that
have you
age.
shot by the age of
Oh,
that?
sorry, I thought it was 12.
Yeah, I'm definitely 14.
Okay, we're
Definitely
good.
not lying.
So no calls you want to make on the way in before
I
you go?
actually want to call the station.
Okay. Which, as in the police station?
Yeah, the basically the segment I'm attached to.
Okay. Yeah.
Could be a late night. We should get a hotel.
It's not. It's getting into the afternoon at this point. Because you drove out, you had a leisurely lunch, you had a seance, you recovered from the seance. It's like, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. It'll be dark by the time you get into town.
You know.
Hello.
Operator,
Yes.
put me in touch with the K station, please.
Hello, this is Police Station Central.
Yeah, this is in Inspector Worthington, the Hong Kong division.
Yes, of course. I have heard of you. I think. Yeah. What do you want?
Put me on local command, will you?
Yeah, I'll just see if Buffy's free. Hold on a sec.
You have to wake him up, but he's always free.
Oi, Buffer! Buffer! Mate, fucking... Yeah. Yeah, he's just having a durry, mate. Just hang on a sec, yeah?
Does Buffer smoke?
Everyone smokes. You've currently got a lit cigarette in your mouth.
What the hell's wrong with you, boy? Here, have a packet of cigarettes.
Hello, hello, yes. It's Buffer here.
Hopefully your grub's
It's
stronger.
Albie, yeah?
Yeah, Buffer. Look, there's been some developments in the case I'm working for the mother country. You s-
Oh, it's more shit for your filthy fucking palms, yeah, right.
Yeah, there's been a bit of an uptake in the old opium trade recently, and just getting up to date on the
What?
locals.
Oh, can't be the case. It's been completely cleaned off the streets. We haven't had a nip of it lately, at all. I'll take what you...
Scrap.
Doing my job particularly well, I guess, but supposedly there's been some moving around in some of the Oriental gangs.
So you think there's more coming in?
I suspect there's going to be a bit of movement around.
You got a tip-off.
I've got a tip-off.
Oh, what do you got?
Currently, I think there's some movement on the old Black Dragon Society. Ring
Never
bells?
heard of them. What are they, just a bunch of fucking Chinese people pushing their
I'm
business?
not surprised. Yes, Boffer, it's a couple of Chinese people pushing their business.
Right, so what's this hot tip then, Albie?
Now, what I was looking for is if you'd seen any movement around these gangs recently, any unnatural quiets or hive of activity.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, mate. You on the juice again? I hear you foreign types go a bit bonkers when you come out here.
I keep forgetting that you're actually one of the smart ones, Tommy, and it troubles me.
Can I have that in writing?
Can you
Look,
read?
mate.
Yes.
Mate,
Yes.
if you've got a hot tip with the commissioner, I can get in touch with the commissioner and we can, like, you know, go out and get some boys to check it out. I mean, that's what you do. You tell us what's for and we'll go nab the crooks, you know? That's what we do. We do our jobs. But if you got nothing to tell us, then
Keep yourself on standby. It could be an emergency call a bit later.
yeah,
That's your hot
right.
tip for
Oh,
me.
well,
Albert.
fuck, I might be asleep later, Albie, so you know.
Albert, might be helpful if we get him to just, you know, rough up all the Chinese people that the police come across. It might buy us some time.
That's not a bad point. What do you feel like just going to Haymarket and just kicking some nests anyway?
Well, I mean, if you think it's going to turn up anything, you got any particular places? I mean, some of them are legitimate business people.
Give me one of your supplies.
I give him Shenwu's address.
Not that one.
Shenwu has an address.
No, that's the big boss!
An actual dope dealer.
Yeah, so you know a few dope dealers, but they're your regular customer. They're people you buy off regularly, essentially.
It's not
You
one
don't,
that's...
you don't get those addresses.
Do you remember the flaming woman made of blood and smoke?
Is there a massage house you could throw under a bus?
What are your competitors?
You've
Come on,
got to
give me
have some. You got to have some.
Fine, fine.
competitors for sure.
I give the address of some
Pings.
what?
Fucking pings. They're
Um,
always.
Some shady like dude who has like is in beef with one of my like most
Okay, your least
Longest
valued
clients?
contact.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Look, Wu Cheng runs the leather store down in Haymarket. Out the back, he's packing some opium. Get it in there, get yourself a nice find. You get a nice tip on the end, I'm sure, and put another feather in a cap. How's that sound?
Yeah. Look, sounds good. I'll send a bunch of lads around there to make some trouble. Yeah. No worries. Whatever. Easy. Sounds good. Glad you're doing your job, Albie.
Have a good day,
Oh,
Bozza.
one last thing.
Oh, one moment.
Yeah. What now?
Maybe some kerfuffle at the house. Get the police to come to the house. Just hang around.
I said,
Protect it.
Have a good day, Bozza.
Yeah. Sure thing, Albie. Be in touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Markham's in
Chink.
town and Totswaddle's good. You get him
That's
enough money that he's going to be in a gin house for the next 3 days.
We're not seeing Totswaddle again for the next year.
It's in no fit state to drive.
I take out
anyway.
my notebook and I scribble out like Will Chang or whoever it was.
Yeah.
Eliminated.
Eliminated.
Put the red line through their name.
Well, you're not sure. You know that they might get away with it. They might just go in jail for a few days and then be let back out again if they pay enough money. It's just, that's what it's all about.
So that's our distraction covered.
Let's get moving.
Can I do 3 things before I leave?
Yep.
First of all, I want to get changed back into my old clothes.
Okay.
The next thing I want to do is like fold things. Next thing I want to do is fold my like nice clothes like really nicely and like try to put them so I can take them with me.
Okay.
The next thing I want to do is I want to try to sleight of hand a little bit of opium for this guy. Like, I'm actually just going to go up and give him a tiny bit of, I just carry like a very like small amount that I just like hand out in tough drives.
Business sample.
Yeah.
God damn it, kid, that stuff is cursed!
Alright.
I'm trying to have my soul sucked into a goddamn urn!
Really, this is just a very elaborate intervention, guys.
Give me some more of that laudanum.
The next thing we're going to do with all the packing going on, I'm going to try to sleight of hand my cup back.
Yeah. It's really not too hard. They're not paying.
We gave it
huge-
back to you. Once you told us that you were
Oh
14.
yeah, I was 14.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
worry. Then I don't have
Totally
to
old enough to shoot people.
Yeah,
Fine.
totally
We
14.
gave you a second
All right.
clip.
Definitely
You guys pack
14.
your stuff. You got what you need. You get in your car.
thought about joining
You
the
start
force?
heading into town. About like 20 minutes into your journey, you catch up to Mrs. Markham in the buggy. It's like an old horse buggy that's being just drawn along. It's skirt around her in your automobile.
I actually get a little bit faster to burn past, just because it's like,
Put her in a place.
it's like, car is still novelty, right? It's like, look at what we can do.
Yes, you
Yeah,
showed
exactly.
you showed that
Exactly.
pesky poor servant what for as you hoon by in the night and freak out her horses.
And
your
I
place.
adjust my goggles as I
oh.
do so with a
Oh,
wave.
Shruppy, you'll scare the horses! And we can't find another housekeeper like her.
There's
She's
no
amazing.
scaring those horses anymore.
Oh
Did you just kill her?
killed
You don't know, you're too busy, cloud of dust.
Mirrors are not a thing yet.
You killed my housekeeper. You could be in some serious trouble.
Oh boy.
Yeah, well, look, for all you know, she's probably just stuck there for the next 3 days changing a broken buggy wheel.
You hurt me now.
Shooting a horse. Trying to somehow kill a horse.
First
without a
blood,
gun.
eh?
She careens off the road into the bush. At least it's scenic out here in Kirribilli.
She's
I'm a
only
war
like
doctor. You have no
20
idea how many
minutes.
people I've killed.
only an hour's walk from home.
Yeah,
She can go
well,
back.
she'll be fine. She can just
You're a
hike back in her
disgrace,
nice
Porter.
Sunday shoes.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys
recognizes our
arrive in
cars.
town about 6 o'clock in the evening. You catching the sun is lit up in a blaze of pinks and oranges as the sort of shining off the seas. You catch all of the water on the coast road, schools of dolphins just riding out. See all the late night fishermen putting out the crab traps all along the shore, and some rockfishers just going out there. As you're rolling in, it's one run. So give me a. What did I have?
Tarot card read. I could do.
You can do a tarot card read. So as you're going by, you pass
Yeah, I'm good.
a car that seems to be. So you're heading towards the town, and you see a black car in the distance. It's moving at speed, and it's moving towards you.
This could be
It's
them.
beeping, indicating that you should get out of their way.
Are we in the sedan?
I pull over to the side of the road to let them pass, worried about the stones getting flung up and chipping the Duco.
Amazing paint job. All right, cool. As they cruise by, you can all the people in the car who can make
A listen?
spot hidden check.
Oh, spot hidden.
I believe is all we have these
Everyone?
days.
No. I'm not seeing
That
Jack.
is critical. No, it's what's the half of? What's the half of called? Great success.
Okay.
Great success.
I've
as well.
got critical success.
I must say
But
that
my
without using
tarot
horse
card
accents.
reading is great.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Do
I
you like
missed by
to-
2.
I'll punch him.
But what
And
about
where
on
they
the
are.
wood?
Yeah.
And make it
Turn the two on.
You draw a card indicating that great opportunity abounds.
Woo! It's like fortune cookies. It's great.
All right, awesome. So, critical success, you said?
No,
Great
critical
success.
success.
Critical success.
Okay, awesome. You recognize Xianwu at the wheel. He's in a car with 2 other people who you don't recognize.
So none of the descriptions match.
No.
Force him into an accident. He's got no depth perception.
With one eye.
Oi, Nira.
We've already killed one person already
Yes.
today.
It's Shamu.
That's as they pass, because you're over the side. Just drives by at speed.
Can I try and get
Miss Markham still won't be home, so that's fine.
what their number plate is?
Yep.
Is that
This is what you do. No, it's just within your skill set, pretty
Oh.
much, to be able to do it. So you quickly jot it down. It's not dark yet.
okay?
DRGN.
Sorry.
BLKDRGN.
You got there.
One.
Two.
All right. So it cruises by.
But the other 2 people aren't people I recognize either.
No, they're not. They just seem like pretty
Local
ordinary
thugs.
people. Goons, hired goons.
I
Is
mean,
there anyone back at the house?
can I just say,
No.
the fantastical urn aside,
Mhm.
which should be treated with some seriousness because bloodthirst. This danger, the imminent danger, is in fact this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
Yes.
I suggest that we turn around, we follow him back to the house, we let the boy and Betty out with Mrs. Markham into the buggy, and then we go and deal with Shenwu.
Well, that's great, because if he shoots first, we can just kill
Would you
him.
like to interject with the card that you drew?
Great fortune awaits.
Great opportunity.
Great opportunity awaits. Sorry, I'm a little bit discombobulated from my earlier efforts. It's
Great
channeling.
opportunity.
If that guy's going that way and we're going that way, to me it seems good.
And this could be our opportunity to investigate
The boat.
magic blood jar.
The ship.
Look,
Without him there.
And
He's
empty-
Oh,
a
I'm
good.
so torn.
And empty
What
the
feels
magic
like
blood
3
jar
weeks
away.
away.
Yes, magic blood jar.
I never said I'd say this, but I'm inclined to trust Betty.
Roppy,
You know I'm joking, Lovey, but
you trust me impeccably all the
of
time.
course,
Was I wrong about the green
this
in the living
time
room?
especially. No, that was a wonderful colour choice, darling. I regret ever having mentioned it. Let's go.
So you head in the direction of the docks, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Are we in agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
Opportunity.
Great opportunity.
All right, awesome. You
one's
drive
home,
at
but-
speed. You head down. You wind down into the city. You head past the gardens and drive back to Circular Quay and through Circular Quay to the rocks, and then to the other side of the rocks where you come across the piers. And you recall. You didn't know which pier the ship was being docked in,
He's
but
6, I believe.
Pier 6. So you go there first.
Ooh, does the ship look familiar?
You guys, it's now night by the time you guys.
Oh, we're doing the
arrived.
whole dock slow crawl with the lights off.
Yeah.
It's the only sort of crawl.
You
Could
do
you say-
have
I
some
sure like the
issues with a
hustlers.
couple of trucks, so you have to. It's not completely inactive. There are still some ships that arrive late. There's some dock workers around. It's not full on nighttime yet. I mean, oh no, it is. It's a lie. The sun has gone down, but people are still knocking off, so it's not empty. There are still trucks leaving. It is emptying. You expect in another hour, based on your experience, that the dock should be pretty quiet.
But we may not have an hour of time before Shenwu turns around.
And then it'll take him no less
Because
than
we
3
bumped
to get
into
back.
them how far into our trip? An hour?
You bumped into him
About
like
20
towards the
minutes.
end, so you no, it was like
No, it was-
40 minutes. So he still had to go 40 minutes out to the house.
And then he's got to turn it around.
He's going to turn around and come an hour back.
And at that time of night, it's
So
quite challenging.
we've got an
on
hour
roads.
to 2 hours before Shen returns.
Unless he has turned around already.
No, but he would have to get to the house and realise we're not there.
Because he didn't notice us. from what we could tell.
We kept driving.
Yeah. He honked us out of the way because we weren't in the delightful vehicle, our regular ride.
Sure.
Take the opportunity.
Yep.
Maybe we won't wait the full hour, but we can place ourselves.
Steer down that way. There's a guy I know called Easily Bought Smith. He should know where this.
Smith.
Yeah.
Mm.
He should know where this ship is.
Well, you guys are just cruising through the docks, yes?
Mhm.
And checking out all the ships that are in there. I would like you, Tom, to make a luck roll, because you're the person who knows the docks the best.
Yeah. A good success.
Okay, so it doesn't take that long. Probably in about 15 minutes, Elizabeth, you're like, overcome with an extreme sense of deja vu.
Oh my god, I've seen this before!
And you start taking over the directions.
Oh, left! No, the other left!
And before
That's
too
reverse
long, you come to a chained off area of the docks. It's not fully fenced and gated, but it does have like a chain on it, which would mean and the chain has a lock on it, so you won't be able to very easily go through with the car. But beyond that, you see the silhouette of the ship from your vision parked in the
I've
harbour.
been here before. I feel so familiar. I feel a little bit scared and unloved.
Was there anyone hanging around the ship in your vision?
No, I'm not sure. I just remember the ship
And the face.
and the face. Yes, the face. But I don't think it wasn't a face on the ship. Could have been a face near the ship.
So you're quite a distance away at this point, because it's a large ship. It's a cargo ship. You see the large steam chimney sort of perking up next to the large storehouses that sort of run out at obtuse angles from the foreshore, creating the jagged silhouette that is the storage houses and the piers.
Ed, I think you should go and see who's around.
But for the love of God, be careful.
Why are you
Alrighty.
sending a kid?
Cause I'm good.
Ed is a terribly sneaky child.
And then I'm just gonna kind of like roll in the shadows, have a look around, see if I can find anyone, see if I can, just do a kind of standard case of the ship in the dock.
Yeah, great. Just give me a stealth roll.
It's one of those great fences where it's just right at the edge of the dock, but it's still thin. So you can kind of just skirt around.
It's easy to climb over. It's more just to stop large vehicles from moving in and out. You think that they're more the security precautions they take are more to prevent theft of large amounts of cargo. That's what they're worrying about.
Critical success.
Plus, they will have you know that there are night watch people on the docks, and there are still people moving around, like leaving work, finishing up bits and pieces. How'd you go?
Success.
Well purchased.
All right. So you're walking around. You see a few people like just having some drinks after work, like knocking back a couple of bottles of beer and just hanging out. A few other. You see catch a few hobos that you recognize who are sort of just sneaking in after hours to some of their regular places in the softer nets where they'll be able to sleep and sort of they see you, you see them, but you kind of nod to each other and go on their way, and you stroll around the ship and you go up and down the docks and you see there's it doesn't seem like you see the dock workers there just hanging out. You catch sight of probably 2 or possibly 3 people. It's hard to say because they're all moving but slowly. Just looks like they're doing pretty lackadaisical patrols on the ship itself. The ship looks very well maintained now that you're up close. It's either new or if it's not new, it's in good order. And give me a spot hidden roll.
That is a crit success.
Awesome. Right, so you're on the docks and you're sort of scoping out the ship.
Oh, there's the end.
And you sort of get these hairs pricking up on the back of your neck. And you sort of like turn around and you see this hunched silhouette on the roof of one of the dock buildings. The light from one of the fires just on the ships, from the lanterns, just glints out of these glassy eyes. And you see they're looking down at you. And then they very quickly disappear.
I'm gonna go a long way back. Back to my friends.
Right, give me a stealth roll.
I'm eating
Oh no, I'm
shortbread
good at
in
stealth.
the car.
I got this.
You're great.
Oh
at
my
stealth.
god! Stop! Oh, that's a lot of luck.
I could say it could get worse, but only by 2%.
I'll take it. I fail.
Well,
Okay,
then
cool.
statistically, the odds were against you from the start. Given your
Okay,
tragic
give me a
childhood.
spot hidden roll.
We try with our citizens outreach programs, but we lose more kids than we find. Oh, jeez.
I rolled really well at the start,
Alright,
though. Just
So
remember.
you guys are waiting and
Rapidly
watching,
barreling
I'm
towards the end of your
assuming.
life.
I'm eating shortbread
Okay.
while I'm waiting.
Awesome.
Gotta keep fueled.
I'm out of the car. I've got my doctor's bag. If this doesn't end soon, I'll be trying some ruse where I look for sick patient.
Okay, awesome.
So I'm out of the car, but out of the car.
So, you are running along, and then suddenly whole vision in front of you is obscured by a shadow, and spreads out, this hunched form, like a bit bigger than your size, and sort of like opens up. Yeah, it's sort of like, but like 3 times as wide, starts opening up its
That's the
shoulders,
size of an
and
11-year-old.
sort of like rises around you, like
This
look
is your
up,
body.
and as you're looking up, your gaze meets its, and make a power check.
Oh.
I'll give you a hint.
What's a power
Albert, this
check?
is taking too long.
Okay.
This was a bad idea, and I'm sure I told you at the time. It's gone great.
Yeah.
8 under 6 is critical success.
Wow, that's amazing, because I rolled a 99. Alright, look at the gaze, and you feel this energy, sort of like the eyes sort of start to mesmerize you, and you like quickly realize you realize what's happening. You've seen this before, and you're like, that's not gonna happen to me. And then you look away and you
Run!
make a getaway for it. Alright,
Use
cool.
your
Make a
strange danger.
dexterity roll.
Dexterity, that's a success.
All right, cool, because I got to fail. So you duck under it as this hand, and it suddenly he was standing completely in shadow. But as you move to the other side of him, now you see this hand reach out, like slightly, like much larger than a normal hand, and these long, sharp, steely claws just poking out from the end of it. And now you remember the drawings that you saw in Naira's book, and this is Clawface. Big, bushy beard, slathering teeth. He sort of reaches out. Snick of the claws, you duck under and zoom.
I'm then gonna. He saw me before.
Can you swim?
You're running down the pier, so like you're down the pier. He's standing between you and them, but you've ducked under his arm, and now you're sort of running back towards the car.
Can I
I'm in the front
run?
seat, ready to drive as the getaway driver.
Can I
Eating
climb?
shortbread.
No, I don't want
You
to
even
climb.
Yeah, I do.
I want to run.
Journey.
I don't want to
Right.
run.
Probably better than me.
I want to run. Not towards
Between you and the car, there are those sailors having a drink as well.
my. I want to run towards the sailors.
All right.
Six,
They're
sailor's
sitting
arms.
under a lantern light and sort of having a drink, and you're just flat out running, right?
Yep.
So you don't spot the dragon tattoo.
Okay, give me a dexterity roll against me. This guy's rolling so bad. Which is strange because he's so good.
my tarot
Good.
card.
Good. Like 36.
Did you succeed?
Oh, I succeeded. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah, good. All right. The sailors, however, don't seem to have noticed you running towards them yet, or him, and he's just slinks to the shadows and it's like basically just melts to the wall and it's like running along the wall. He's probably sacrificing speed to be able to stay even more hidden when he's moving
Okay.
as fast as you.
Okay. I'm gonna get the sailors. Are they eating anything or whatever?
They're drinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal a bottle of whiskey, like kind of pick it up as I run through.
Beer. They've got,
Oh,
you see, like a
surely.
few bottles of unopened beer next to them.
Yep, and I'm gonna keep running. I'm gonna keep running.
Okay,
Not
cool.
towards my friends though.
Got to keep your energy up.
Beat off.
All right, cool. Yeah. Well, there's only one way to go. It's like the
Yeah,
pier is
that's
it's,
fine.
it's only like 2 or 3 meters across from the edge of the warehouse
That's
to
fine.
where it drops straight down into the water.
That's fine.
So you grab the bottle. They don't even notice.
What? Can I make a big deal when I grab the bottle?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
You didn't, did you? So you grab the bottle, you take 2 steps, you look back, you realize they're just like, yeah, that thing that happened, it was so good.
Can I throw the bottle at them?
Of course you can.
God. How do I throw?
You make a throw roll.
There's a throw skill.
Is there? Oh no.
It's under T.
D6
Oh no, I got a
20.
throw skill. Yeah, nah.
Okay, it flies wide, but they do notice it. They go, oh shit, that's a fuck! Oi! You little shit, come back here!
Yeah.
Fucking- And they get up and they start running.
Awesome. That's what I want.
Tom, I'm starting to doubt my decision on this one.
So you
I'm
guys
starting to doubt
don't
your
see
decision on this
anything,
one.
but you don't see.
Just running for her.
Actually, you guys can all make a spot hidden roll at this point.
She's associating with sailors. She's handling beer.
Is that good or bad?
He-
Sounds like a regular
He-
14-year-old.
That's the bad one.
Yep.
Spot hidden, right?
Success.
Oh, so much for that.
Good.
All right, cool.
100. That's shortbread.
Oh,
Great success.
All right, so oh, you're struck with a vision, and everyone turns to look at you. Oh, you sense that Ed is in danger. All right, so meanwhile, so these guys are running after you.
So I want to run down the pier, but eventually I want to run not at my friends, but in yelling distance of
So
my
you'll
friends.
get to the end of, you get to where the pier joins up to the rest of the piers. Essentially, it's a set of fingers that all jut out from the foreshore
Yeah.
and form these deep water bays where the ships can pull in. And as they go back, they come out to a road which is reasonably broad enough for a few wagons to go by, but then it's backed up by a cliff. And your friends are parked in a car just at the end, but off to the side. You could run to the end and go right instead of left where they are parked if you wanted to. But they are in a position where they can look down the pier with their lights off.
So I'm gonna run.
The only other option would be to try and find a way into the warehouse and try and lose him in there.
Yeah. I'm going to climb. Can I? So I'm at the warehouse, right?
You've been running alongside the warehouse this whole time. It's
But
a
he's
long
on the wall of the
warehouse,
warehouse,
length
isn't
of
he?
the pier. He's stuck. He's He's running through the shadows, along the side,
Can I-
along the edge of the warehouse. Yeah.
There would be another warehouse on the next pier over.
That's right.
Yeah. So can I go towards that warehouse and try to
To
go
your left,
to the right, away from the ship?
the ship is docked in this bay.
Yeah.
In this area.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's basically a giant U shape.
Yeah.
That the ship is inside of.
And there's a warehouse on each side of the U.
Yeah.
So
You've been to the
what I'm
piers, right?
asking is there? Yeah.
we're
I
from
know it well,
Australia.
but the. Did you say it's a good place for a theater?
No,
We're
because
from Australia.
we're from
Oh,
Australia.
we're from Australia.
What a great place for a theatre.
It is a great place for a theater. That's what they did when they renovated them eventually.
Can I go to the? Yeah, but so you've got those U's, right? Can I
Yep.
go to the next U over?
Run
And
up the chain
go-
like a monkey.
You'd have to go
Across the
through the
ship.
warehouse.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll go through the warehouse.
Alright, give me a luck roll.
Well, luckily you've got a bit of that left.
It's
No, you're fine.
1.
Jeez.
So I think.
Luckily somebody seems to, one of the doors, it seems to be chained just enough so that the gap is wide enough that you can slink through, but he'd be hard pressed to make it through that gap.
Awesome.
Are you trying to protect us, or
Well, we'll get to. I'm then gonna hide.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna try to
you
hide.
duck in there.
Yeah.
And then go
Critical
try and find a
motive
place to hide.
bound child.
I've been trying to
You
get through that
guys,
kid for
so
years.
you
but
go inside, you hide.
nobody
You
can
guys
tell.
see the two sailors go, shit, the kid went in the door. Bang, bang. I don't have the key to that one. Oi! Barnaby! Barnaby! Yeah, what? Barnaby, some kid snuck into your warehouse. No, fuck that. Yeah, no, he snuck right in here. Shit. Yeah, fucking starts running down. So there's some kind of commotion happening around this door, and you see the dock warden is walking back towards where these sailors are drinking, and they're sort of standing looking in this door.
Can I?
You can all make another spell here.
Can
I climb in
magic I can conjure?
Yeah, so you're inside a big vaulted warehouse. It's like huge, 2 floors, and it's just full of stock. It looks like this is all
default is
lots of. Looks like it's all wines actually.
Oh, okay.
Wines and liquors. So
Now
this
that I've
is
had my vision,
cool, because they must be pretty worried about you being in
I
here.
need to spend
Lots of barrels and boxes.
Cool.
Anyone get a critical success?
I got a 6.
Anyone else got a critical success? Awesome. All right. So you're looking at these guys are all looking at the scene. You're looking at the scene, and you see this shadow, just like go, almost impossibly, climbing up the side of the building, gets up to a window on the sort of second floor, which is, and considering that each floor of this warehouse is like 6 to 7 meters tall, goes very quickly, goes up past the first floor, and then slinks in through a service window on the upper level.
Head's in trouble in the warehouse. I'm going. Back me up.
I waddle ferociously after him.
I can drive the car a bit closer.
We've got the chain in the way.
Oh, is it that area?
Yeah, it's that area. It's beyond the chain.
Right, well, I'm just gonna keep eating short.
Come on, Naira.
As I move past, chubby, thick-fingered hand flies in the window, grabs a short break, pulls it out.
All right. I'm gonna say that everyone leaves the car, and you're there alone.
Yeah.
And the creepy feeling comes back. You're like, maybe not. You get out very quickly and join the group.
Okay.
You almost got your own Henderson, Zorgi.
But you start making your way down the dock. Do you want to go on the side of the warehouse that this door is on? And considering this warehouse is like probably 30, 40 meters? No, it was like 100 meters long. This warehouse is very long.
Right? Isn't that the guy with the keys?
Barnaby.
Barnaby.
I
know
know these
all the
warehouse
dog
doors. We
people?
don't need keys.
What, you just gonna kick
That's
it?
what
Yeah.
Tommy's fits for.
So
Here
where are
in the
you guys
city.
going, is what I'm asking.
We're heading towards that door.
Okay, cool.
Are you
Awesome.
armed? Sweet.
You walk down and you...
Perhaps you can
Meanwhile...
hold my medicine bag.
Yes. I
So
will
you're
carry
inside the
them.
warehouse.
Yeah.
You're on the ground floor. You see stacks of boxes
And
and
now you're on
barrels.
with the shop.
Yeah. So I kind of want
Use
to
it. Actually, I
climb.
probably do actually.
Not to. I don't want to be on the second floor, but I kind of want to climb
Shoot.
into like
firearms.
kind of
Yeah,
find a
that's-
stack and kind of try to nestle into a stack.
It's your height. Just make a hide
I
roll.
would have done some
And
shit.
make... and...
A country estate
Tell me what you get.
somewhere.
Peasants, delicious.
Yes.
God, come on! Hold on.
Careful.
Wildly variable Ed.
Success.
Increasingly less lucky.
But what did you get?
80 on 80.
Nice.
Cool. You were hidden. You guys approach the door.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
They sort of look around as Barnaby gets there. He's pulling out his keys, like chink, chink, unlocks the chain, and you see the 2 other sailors. They smashed our beer. Oh, that sucks.
Get over it, guys.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
What? Oh, you show your badge?
Yeah.
Oh, constable. Constable. Oh, Leary. Oh, you want me to disappear again, do ya?
I'm
Says
just gonna push him
Barnaby.
in the harbour.
That's 1920 policing right there at its finest.
give me a strength roll.
Yeah, 40 flat.
Whoosh! Sailor's just like, oh, fuck, I'm out of here. Good day, constable. They take their beers and keep waddling on and splash. Oh, shit! And you guys make your way in.
Too much for stealth, Tommy.
I don't feel like that's our thing.
So yeah, you're inside the warehouse. So step in, as described before, barrels and boxes stacked up to 4 or 5 meters in height, ceiling 7 meters above you. Here and there you can see stairwells in wood that sort of go up to the next level, and filtered lights from lanterns that are outside come in through the glazed windows.
Everyone, we're looking for a weird shadow and Ed.
A what?
You can
Stay
hear them.
together.
You hear familiar voices now close to you in this room.
Can I stealthily start moving towards them?
Hey, give me a stealth roll.
I'll look around using my psychology. Where
I don't
would
know.
a street urchin hide? Or...
Yeah, give me a spot hidden roll.
65
Yeah,
under
two.
80.
Did you roll less than 80? That's cool. Alright, so you look around and you see this, like, dirty urchin butt sticking out from, like, a pile of cloth. Classic, like, throwing their front end of the body underneath a...
Perfect.
Yeah. And then sort of
What's the name of
sneaks
our
over
housekeeper?
and comes down.
Miss Markham didn't clean the urchin bottom, so that's the thing. Well, we were mentioning that.
Well, she did, and it's catching the light.
Also, I think that was the name of your housekeeper.
The
before
urchin-
You killed her.
Yeah, the urchin was relying on being dirty and covered in grease to hide themselves, but unfortunately too shiny this time.
So I'm there now?
Yeah. So you're at the top of a pile of boxes, sort of leaning over.
Oi,
He came in through the second
Clawface is here.
floor. Yes, he came in through the second floor.
Alright, well, I don't want to be with him. Well, can we go?
What, we just need to go back out through the bottom?
Well, or, like, okay, so there's only like 2 or 3 around the ship, and then like this feckin' dude, he's like up on the top of the ship, and he's just like all shadowy, and like his eyes are gleaming, and then he like fucking, it's just like right in front of me. I'm sorry, he's then like right in front of me. And he's got, I'm sorry, Constable, and then he's here now. He's a scary bloke.
Alright, spot hidden for everybody, please.
Ah, I've wasted my good one.
9.
Nope.
No, it's fine. No, I didn't.
This doctor's bag is really
27 under 40.
That's a good success. 19.
Actually, you'll need both
Nice.
hands for the shotgun.
No, I have to put the bag down.
Not just
Alright,
urchin,
cool.
I'll take
So,
it.
you guys are having this conversation, and then Ed is leaning over the top of the boxes, saying something, and then you hear a brief yelp as Ed just disappears. And then you hear movement along the top of the crates. So, Ed, you've been grabbed.
He's lived a full life.
And
It was longer than most street urchins.
He was beating the odds one day at a time.
your arms are pinned to your body, and with one hand and this other large, smelly hand, now that you're up close, is clammed over your nose and mouth.
Does he smell flammable?
Can I bite his hand?
Why would you?
Oh wait, no, because my arms are pinned. I can't reach my pistol.
Use it with your teeth.
Okay, so what's everyone doing? Let's go around. So, what are you doing?
I'm getting my shotgun ready that has been lovingly granted to me by a shroppy here.
Okay. Excellent. Shoppy, what are you doing?
I see the feet disappear.
You see that he was like leaning out, or Ed was leaning out over the edge, and then just got dragged backwards. You sort of look with terror on his face.
Into a shadow.
I breathe,
I place my medicine bag.
and then moving away from you along the top of the boxes.
Actually, I start running in that direction with my medicine bag.
Parallel to the... Yeah, cool.
Along the ground.
Awesome. Naira.
I wanna. So, is this like on the second floor on top of the box?
No, just on top of the piles of boxes. So you're in a corridor that's made by all these piles of boxes.
Right.
You've come in through the side door, walked in a few meters, and then Ed's leaned over the edge of the top of a pile of boxes, which is to your immediate left, and then got dragged off and is being taken in that direction.
Can
from
I
what you
climb
hear.
on top of the box?
Yeah, just make a climb test.
Make you wear a bell.
Success.
Alright, cool. So you quickly get up, and probably a distance away from you, you can see this figure and this silhouette. Instantly, you recognize it. It's totally Clawface.
Can I try and shoot him?
Yes. Well, let's give everyone else an action first.
Good thing you're
Yep.
actually really small.
Albert, what are you doing?
Albert is going to dash forward, getting his gun out,
Claw
and
faces anyway.
scream a
Triple their
era-appropriate racial slur
Okay.
at the fleeing ingrate.
Okay.
As he moves along the bottom of the thing.
He's along the top of.
Yeah, that's, and so.
Oh,
he's
but
going
you're
to-
along the bottom.
Albert's
Yeah,
like-
yeah, of course.
He waddles quite quickly. Quite quickly. Once he gets a move on.
It's classic.
Ed.
I want to bite down as hard as I can
You're practically
On
immune to
the-
disease by now.
Yeah.
and and struggle.
Excellent. Okay. Give me a strength check.
It's gonna go one way or the other.
You're going to try to confuse him. Struggling kids, good.
Okay,
Biting
you're like,
kids,
ah,
bad.
this leathery flesh and the taste of it. Give me a power check.
Too nasty.
Success.
That is the
All right,
worst.
you feel your stomach churning at the horrid taste of almost rank, desiccated flesh as your teeth sort of sink in a little bit, like oh, but you manage to hold it in.
I'm gonna
Constable.
jump up on top of the box and
You
run
climb
up
check?
in hot pursuit. Ah, sorry about that.
Your foot gets caught in the rope and you like stumble a little bit. You sort of catch a glimpse of Naira sort of
shoelaces.
making pursuit, and you get up to the top, but it's very haphazard. A box of bottles smashes on the floor behind you. Everyone can smell the brandy that's spilling out over the floor.
What a waste!
We've got some chemistry, I reckon, if we set that on fire.
So,
Insurance money.
Elizabeth,
I want you shooting. You were shooting.
is that what you're saying, Elizabeth? What are you doing?
Oh no, I am going to start following everyone with my shotgun.
On the ground around the
On
corner.
the ground, yep.
Curdle, you just keep pace with
If I can, I'm not making any stealth, so I'm jiggling
Yeah,
my
yeah,
bottles of laudanum and my medicine supplies are jingling in this hand.
I don't.
And the pistol's out in this one. And I'm looking up. Look! Look! And I'm screaming out, Ed! Ed!
Naira. Okay, so you've drawn a bead on him.
Your supplies.
Yes, I
cut off
try and shoot
otherwise.
him.
All right, awesome.
Go
Draw a bead, take a shot. Do you want to do multiple shots or a single shot? Multiple shots divides the amount that you have to roll with by the amount of shots that you can take. You can shoot up to
I
3.
stop
For a
running
bathroom.
and try and
Sleep.
aim so that I can get him.
Okay.
So one shot.
I'll let you take 2 shots at full.
Okay.
So you aim and
Toby, I need a slash. You want us to break?
So I have to roll below firearms. Handgun.
Yep.
That's a 99!
Oh, Ed.
That's not good.
No.
Can I?
you can use as many luck points as you want.
It's like.
If you just use a couple of luck points, it won't be a
get
critical
committed to this
failure,
character,
and the
right?
gun will.
Sorry?
If you just use a couple of luck points, it won't be a critical failure, which means the gun won't jam, but the shot will fly wide.
Well, if the gun jams, you don't shoot Ed.
I use up enough luck points, which I can't math.
It'll just
I
be.
need 40.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Just
Something.
Jeez.
use a couple.
Just shoot me.
Just don't jam the gun on the first shot and then try
Okay,
again.
okay.
Just use 5. So the shot fires but goes wide,
Sure.
and you shoot again.
Okay. 31. So that is a success.
All right, awesome. So the bullet absolutely clips him in the shoulder. It's like slumps down and turns around, seeing you there, and there's this moment of recognition. He holds up Ed. Puts the claw to his face. And you've seen what these claws can do. He starts backing away towards a window that's nearby.
I lower the gun.
So he's not holding. He's still holding you. But he's not holding your mouth anymore. Because he's got this on your throat, and you feel that thin sliver, that basically the almost there's almost nothing like sensation of a razor sharp blade starting to pierce the first few layers of your skin.
I'm a kid.
Albert, what are you doing?
I'm
The movement stops. The shots go off. Bang bang.
I back up and see if I can get a bead on.
Give me a luck roll.
No.
Yeah, there's not a corridor right next to you to be able to sort of move down and get a bead from. You'd have to like climb up a pile of boxes or something.
I'll make that climb.
Make a climb roll.
Well, that's what we all think to start with.
No, but no. Oh, actually, I can't spend any more luck.
You push your bulk, attempting to go up, and just realize you can't quite get purchased enough to pull yourself up and just slide back down and
These
look
cardboard
around
boxes
ineffectually.
aren't made well enough. Cheap liquor.
Ed, what are you doing? So your mouth's not covered, but your arms are pinned to your body.
Oi! Don't shoot. You can find me later. I'll be fine.
You always get reincarnated.
You're always kind, miss.
It's true.
All right. Anything else you want to do while you're talking? You're pinned at the elbows. Your hands are not.
Can I, reach for the pistol?
Give me a strength test.
That belief was misplaced.
You're unfortunately restrained beyond as you sort of look. And in the lamplight now, you can see this black, bushy beard, these sort of wide eyes, yellowed, and old. Saliva dripping onto the beard, teeth sharp, a tongue waves around. Now you've seen this before, but you have not. So make a sanity check.
Oh, critical Ed.
At least he had a nice last day.
Saw how the other half knew.
Can I use luck on sanity?
Yeah, use luck on whenever you want.
I'll go insane. Just a little bit. Let it flow through.
You got 60. You're fine. You'll die quicker than you'll go mad. I mean, it's just
you're spending the luck. Oh,
the odds
Success.
are against you.
Okay, cool. You only lose one sanity point. As you witness this horrific otherworldly creature before you. Humanoid, yes, but the way its skin moves, the color of its eyes, this slug-like tendriling tongue that rolls across razor-sharp, pin-like teeth. Yeah, it's not nice. Anyway,
on the plus side,
Constable,
I wasn't lucky enough to see the thing.
Can I try and quietly, sneakily, not that I'm great at this.
so you're at the top already.
Yeah.
You're just like prone. So you can see
tackle this.
It can
child
see
abductor.
you. You're at the end of the box. It's like about 10 meters away from you.
Give us the kid. We'll let you go. No harm will come to you. We won't press charges. We'll just forget all about this. Just let go of the urchin.
So I can shoot you with a clutch.
All right, cool. So, but you don't do anything.
No.
All right. So, Clawface is now edged over to the window and moves and launches himself at the glass. The glass smashes, gives way, and he just leaps out. You like, whoa, air is just moving around you, broken glass, like small cuts on your face. You land on the docks, and then he's running at full speed with you in his hands down the docks towards the gangplank leading up to the ship.
Can I do something?
Yes, he's not. He's just covering your arms again, pinned. He's not covering your mouth. What would you like to do?
There are two things I want to do.
Well, let's get to you, actually. What are you doing, Elizabeth?
Shroppy! He's taken him! What do we do now?
Was I not tracking at the bottom of the pile of boxes?
That's right, yeah, and then he's like smashed out the window.
Do I get a shot? Or-
No, because the boxes were against the window.
Oh.
You have to go back down the corridor, out through the door, And he's not running stealthily at this point, so you guys can hear him tearing along the docks outside, in the direction of the gangplank of the
Shoot
ship.
him back.
Hmm?
Shoot him in the back. It's the best place to shoot him.
I got a clear shot on it.
Just get outside.
Oh, Naira, can you roll damage for me for the shot you took earlier?
Oh, how do I do that?
1d8.
You are correct. 7.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why he paid attention to you. Alright, awesome.
I'll bug around and turn around and head to the nearest exit I'm aware of.
Yeah, well, the one that you came through and you keep
And I'll
pace.
follow.
Yeah, awesome.
I can hold your bag for you, darling.
Alright, so Naira, you're actually quite close to the window that he jumped out of.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
Would I be able to make it out the window? Or, like, even get up on a box and, like, shoot him from the window?
Yeah, if you get to the window, you'll definitely be able to lean out and take a shot.
Okay.
But he'll gain more distance on you. But the other option would be to go back along the boxes and jump down to go out the door. But you probably wouldn't be able to get a shot on him. Unless you want to just try and make a general strength or constitution or dexterity test to jump down at a run and make that shot. Or you could just lean out the window and take a shot. Up to you.
I lean out the window and take a shot.
Okay, so you just run a couple of meters ahead of you, hit the ground of the boxes and lean out and draw a bead, take a shot.
65. I spend 15
Whoa.
for a shot.
Alright, cool. Hits. Ah! Your shots roll damage.
Oh!
Whoa!
Wow.
That's why she's my informant.
Alright, cool. Give me a percentile roll. Or actually d6, just one d6.
4.
Alright, so the shot goes through his body and you see it sort of just come through. It's like a bullet just flies next to your head, coming out through his chest. Penetrating him, he's like, ah! Staggers a bit, stops, but then picks himself up and keeps running. He's definitely, he's bleeding. But
Is the blood red?
the blood is, you cannot tell the color of the blood. In the light, even in the brain lamplight, you can see, if anything, it's black and glistening. But he is bleeding, and it stinks. And again, this sort of scent just sort of goes into your mouth. It's like stench.
Got a free foot. Kick him in the ball.
Yeah, not him.
Alright, Albert,
Oh, I'm getting.
you follow these guys running back towards
I
the
was
door?
getting his bottle on. He's hoofing down.
Yeah, awesome.
holding
So
the
you guys
inertia.
get to the door and you all duck out and be able to act on things. Next turn, Ed. You're getting close to the gangplank. You're about halfway. In the next turn, you'll in the next, in
I'll
his
be
next
like
action.
on the gangplank. Okay, so what I want to do is, can I reach my pockets? Can I try to pull out?
Get another strength test. If you want to try and do something with your hands.
Grenade. No,
What'd you get?
49, and my strength is 20.
That's alright. You have succeeded. He rolled pretty bad to hold you. So you can do one thing. You can move your hands to get something.
I want to get the pistol.
You won't be able to free yourself, but yep, so you reach in, grab the pistol, give me a dex roll.
That's the method to start freeing yourself. Oh,
Critical success.
It's in exactly the right position, it fits perfectly into your hand, and you pull it out and you've
Pointed
got
at
it.
his nuts.
Well, yeah, he's kind of got you this way, so he's like up this way and you're sideways, so yeah.
He did not
Next round,
see
you
that
just
coming.
it's like auto. It's a point blank. You get you'd have advantage on your shots. So if you do multiple shots, you would have you rolling. It might be easier to hit. Who knows? Anyway,
is it quicker for me to run towards the window and climb down to the
no,
street?
just drop back where you
Okay,
came from,
cool.
and you'll
Yep.
be out there with everybody else, and you duck out.
Yeah.
You're all there, and you look down, and you see he's running down the gangplank. He's running down towards the gangplank that goes up to the ship. Elizabeth.
Look, I probably did some of the shooting.
Resist
Some
the
sort
urge
of
to blow my police
countryside.
whistle.
Yes, likely.
Yeah, with like those.
So you should have a rifle skill.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a go. I think I need to stop panicking, and I'll see him in
But
the
he's
afterlife.
just visualize the clay pigeon.
Oh, I can spend my luck and I can get there.
Yes, you can.
Ooh, I just need to spend a good 18.
More like the nice
It's not worth it though.
Look at the damage.
Doesn't do much.
Fades away with distance. You need to be close with it.
Yeah,
Alright. Shot rings out. You can hear the sound of
Oh,
blimey!
alright.
As the dock warden is climbing up
Get
out of the water, up a ladder, steel ladder down the way. Colonel?
I'm going to. Are there any ropes supporting or attaching, fastening the gangplank to the boat?
You look up and you see it's all chained.
I will, because I'm running. I'm too old for this
There
shit.
are
As I
ropes
run
that
back to the door.
They're big ropes, like thick ropes that are mooring the ship to the side, to the pier.
Pointing the gun. It's. And he's still carrying her.
Him.
I basically take the bead and I just start lining it up. You know, the shot, and I'm not going to take the shot until he's free. Like Ed's out of that thing. So I'm not going to shoot him that black shape. He's got Ed.
Okay.
I'm just going to sort of slyly, like, line my shot up, basically,
Alright.
and wait for the
You aim.
ready the shot for it.
Nara?
How far away is he?
So he's now at a greater distance, which means it's going to be harder for you to hit him with a pistol.
Right. Can I run after him?
Yep, so just give me a dexterity roll to drop down out of the window.
Yep.
Or climb roll, whatever you prefer.
Success?
Cool, yep. So you drop down and...
What's your dex?
Pretty good. And you go for a run. To get a little bit closer.
Yes.
Alright, cool. You catch up to these guys, and you are at range. Do you want to take a shot?
Yes.
Alright, so
Oh my lord!
Critical.
Critical.
roll your damage and double
How
it.
critical? Oh.
10.
Ooh, is that double?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, the grip on you loosens. He actually... No, not quite. Ah! So he holds on, only just. He staggers. You see part of his face and his head just like pop off as his ears flies away and his skull. And a puff of dust just out from where his brain should be.
That's not like all the other times we've seen people's heads shot open.
And yeah. So everybody who saw that, apart from you, can make an intelligence roll.
Oh, lucky.
Oh no.
Yep.
No, fail.
Oh, you all passed. Anyone who passed can make a sanity check.
Oh, success!
You only lose 1 point of sanity. As he keeps running,
Bloody
his
foreigners.
head's and Albert, what do you think?
It's been a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a huffing and a running. It's huffing, and you see the thing, and like his brain stops working for a moment, but the huffing and running still goes.
Yeah.
And then he just comes to slightly less sane, but closer. But there's enough inertia now that the insanity to make him turn around is being undone by the sheer force of his body moving forward.
Getting a good trundle
All
on.
right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. You push along, and you're not gonna do anything else.
I'm trying to get close. I want
you're
to try and
closer.
get Ed away from what is now looking like
You're getting
a
closer,
far
but the
too-
thing is, the problem is that he's moving at double anyone's speed, even at a run.
Oh right.
So you are catching up.
Well then I'll shoot for the center mass.
All right. Cool.
It's all right.
You're very small.
I'm very lucky.
You are much closer.
That's it. That's a great success.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So you totally hit the center mass.
Oh yeah. Where's that sweet D8? Give me one of these bad boys. There we go. That's 4 damage.
Cool. Cool. So the shot goes through his chest again, and sort of like he staggers and now drops you.
Oh, can I take my shot?
Yeah.
It's like an opportunity attack.
Anti-personal.
Fuck yeah.
Not that
Not
one.
anywhere near lucky enough to fix that shit.
Excellent.
You're
Give me a
feeling
percentile
lucky,
roll.
Oh no.
80.
Ah.
Cool. All right. Good. So it doesn't hit you.
Luckily, you're real small.
Yeah. Luckily, you're real small. You're not 80% of the body mass. So, but a bullet like literally whizzes by. Like you get dropped from him, and the bullet like just whizzes above
Yeah,
you
it was
as
a
you fall to the
45.
ground.
This is the first bullet you've heard.
And you can now.
Shoot. I shoot him.
You're gonna take one shot or two shots.
I'll take 2 shots.
Look, you either can
How does
critically
two
fail
shots-
or
Do you divide your
succeed.
gun skill by the amount of shots that you take?
Nope, I take 1 shot.
You still get advantage on the
Doesn't
shot.
matter.
No.
Spend that luck.
Oh yeah, that luck. So success. Oh, hold on, wait.
You can make it.
Yeah,
a
success.
real
Yeah,
good success.
Yeah, I've got 2. I'll spend 2 luck. Success.
All right. Roll damage.
What's the damage on? 1d8.
Ooh.
8.
So this one goes up through his chest, popping out the other side of his head, and it sort of like falls backwards. The full front of his face and skull just evaporating off. Another puff of dust comes out from where his brain should be as he lies on the ground, and you hear a little tink 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 roll out of his skull.
Now, I didn't.
You are closest.
Did I see that?
So
Can I
By
see
a
it?
long
Can I
shot.
look
Yeah,
at
everyone can make a spot hidden roll.
it? Do I have to?
No.
I'm not seeing any of this shit.
No,
My monocle must need replacement, honestly.
I'm not a bent
Wait,
copper,
so
but
no
I'm a
one saw
blind
that?
copper.
I'm not good in the
Oh,
dark.
I didn't
yes.
see shit.
All right,
We're
cool.
seeing the
So
whole
you
dust
quickly
brain.
scrabble over.
No,
You grab,
I'm not
you
even
just
seeing
grab
that.
this object. You see a little bit of sheen on it, and you sort of like pick it up. It feels cool, and refreshing in your hands. It feels. You feel like a throb go up your arm. Something strong makes you
I
feel
shoot
good.
it.
Make a power roll.
Save time.
Make a power roll.
Power roll.
Something falls out of the monster dude's head and you touch
Hope you watch this.
D&D, right? You're kicking the brain, you do loot the treasure.
Success.
Oh. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to have it, to hold it. It feels really nice. Do you want to look at it, or do you want to show it to these guys? Do you want to look at it in the light, examine it? These guys are all
Guys.
running up to you right now.
Look what came out of his head.
I don't want to show them. My instincts, I don't want to show anyone else my little treasure.
That is usually your instinct, yes, that's right.
I
Hide it in your
do.
ear.
What I do
Put
want to.
him out.
How close is that? Can I look at it?
They'll be right at you within like 15 seconds. 10
Yeah,
seconds.
so what I want to do is like grab a bit of cloth,
Mhm.
start to wrap it, and then as I'm putting it away, just have like a
Quick look at it?
A quick look at it.
Alright, awesome. So you look at it and you see an object. It's like it seems like it's a wrought iron object. It has many facets on it. They are irregular in the way that it's all shaped and all the facets joined together. And as you look into each facet, make a power roll.
That would be like a good success.
Okay, awesome. You see that there are embedded faces recessed in it. So inside of each face, there is a indentation, and as you sort of and carved into it along the surface, or possibly cast into it, or wrought or worked because it's metal into it somehow. You don't know. Your child's brain is just fascinated by these things, and it becomes even more special to you in that you've never seen anything like this. It's beautiful and fascinating. and you put it away in your pocket, and everyone catches up to you.
I search the body.
Eddie, you alright?
You look at the body, and you've never seen them up close like this. Anyone who previously failed an intelligence test
Yeah.
can now make...
Fail it again.
No, you don't make no intelligence test. You're all looking at this thing, and you make a straight up power roll.
I never made an intelligence test.
No, you did when you were close to it.
68.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna.
Great success. No, better success.
Anyone who failed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yes.
say I failed.
Anyone failed loses D3 sanity.
D3.
That's
Oh.
fine.
You need to be under or equal to.
It's only 3.
Under or
What
equal
of it?
to succeed.
I've got a critical success then.
Oh, then you're
It's
fine.
equal to.
There we go.
Anyone who passed loses 1 sanity. Anyone who failed loses D3 sanity. Has anyone lost 4 sanity so far?
Total?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got there ages ago.
No. I
Just
just
there
hit that
now.
Oh, okay,
I
cool,
went from
excellent.
3 to 5.
So,
Oh, like 4 sanity and one go.
1 to 4.
no, so
Like
far
through the whole.
through
thing so
the
far.
through this
All
encounter.
sanity in one day.
Yep, that's
you know.
me. There's a song
It's
about
the
that, I
life of the
think.
docks, Bobby.
All right. So, I would like at this point for you guys to make another. Just give me a percentile.
93. See you guys next week.
The body vanishes. You don't see it. You never saw it. It doesn't exist.
That makes things so much easier.
87?
Wish I could do that to my ex-wife.
So
I thought she was your current wife.
as
I mean,
you
Winnie, where did I go? Right?
as you guys are looking at this body, and it starts to decompose in front of you, essentially. It starts to shrivel and decay. Did you go over as well? What did you get?
54.
Okay. The dawning realization that everything that you've been studying, some of it may be real, some of it may not be real, but definitely some of it is real, and what of it is real and what of it isn't real is conflicting in your mind, and you're going into like a stupor right now.
All of my studies is that everything I've learned isn't real. Medicine isn't real. It doesn't work.
You are seeing right now
I'm getting faint. I'm like. struggling to
it's not the
stand.
corpse that you think it is. It is in fact the bodies of your friends dying before you again, and the open plains of the savannah of South Africa roll back into your vision.
Oh my God.
You're standing on the edge of a river. You're penned in, surrounded by Boer guerrillas. They're in every bush around you. You and your close-knit circle of friends. Against them, trapped in the corner, and another comrade has just fallen.
I put on my fake gas mask. I'm now flashing between the Boer War and the Somme, and I'm barking orders. I'm like, get them out of stretcher, and I'm like fully flipped out.
Struggling.
I'm back. I'm 15 years ago.
So, you guys are seeing you're basically in denial.
Yeah. Best place to be.
Um,
These guys going crazy.
what are you three doing?
I basically just leap on this guy and I grab him because I've been hard before. I've seen the flashbacks, and I just like basically taking it down and doing that the big bear hug and just like doing the whisper in the ear. You're not back there.
Alright, cool.
It's alright. You're here. It's like don't
Smell
So,
it toxic in my
I want a
bag.
contested strength roll between the two of you.
That's a 1.
66 fail.
Oh, awesome. Great. Okay. So, look, it's...
Big
you
man.
guys go through a period of time where Elizabeth just sits on the ground talking to herself.
Is it real? I don't know if it's real. It shouldn't be real. It might be real. I don't know anymore.
O'Leary
Flipping through the cards. putting
just
them in.
goes, where'd the guy go?
Suicide.
And starts just walking around in circles looking for the corpse that is never there. And you grab Colonel and you just stand there. But after about 5 minutes of this, it all kind of starts to subside. You sort of start to rationalize things in your head. You come to a conclusion. You realize you're just in a place. Things happening. You come back to your center.
5 of Cups.
The vision of the savannah disappears as you realize that
I
you're
realize
in
I'm
your
in
friend's
this war,
arms.
not
You're in
that
this
war.
It's worse.
Yeah.
And Tom, you were convinced by Ed that there was a body
Oh,
and there was a creature, and that's what happened to it. Because you heard stories when you were a child about things, and maybe the boogeyman is real. And you all look towards the pier and the ship, and its ominous black presence as the moon rises behind it, the clouds parting, and a glowing silhouette around it. And you realize there is no one patrolling the ship anymore. And you decide what it is that you will do. We'll conclude game there for the moment, guys.
Awakened to the dangers at hand, our hardy band of investigators now stand before the Celia Eclipse, an ominous and foreboding cargo ship that harbors a dark secret. Stay tuned for the next thrilling chapter of Behind the Crimson Veil. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to stay abreast of all future releases from Tabletop Dynasties.